it to be easy for you and me, easy for you and me. Harder now, it gets a little bit harder now. I just want it to be easy for you and me, easy for you and me.
I was in the firing line, living in my head. Sun came in, I closed the blinds, could feel it in the air. This is just a waste of time, no one really cares. But then you came across my mind, got me out of there. So I went down to the river and swam till the panic was over. Yes, I went down to the river, watched all the heavy rain. I watched all the heavy feeling all the noise in here. It's becoming ache. Pull me into calm and deep, and take me out to the waves. 'Cause I feel like a waste of space, breathing in the air. But you hold me like I might just break, like you want me there. So I went down to the river and swam till the panic was over. Yes, I went down to the river, watched all the heavy rain. I watched all the heavy
one priceless moment in the whole history of man. All the people on this earth are truly one.
Was there something in my walk, how I talk, giving off the wrong energy? Was there something in my stride, too much pride, telling you to back down? Slowly, slowly you became my enemy. But you can't seem to get enough of me. So if this is the last time, I guess I better make it worthwhile. Yeah, if this is the last time, I guess I better give it my all. So if this is the last time, I guess I better make it worthwhile. Yeah, if this is the last time, I guess I better give it my all.
Intensely sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Barr FTF Cup Series.
Into the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordan Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they're going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas.
Get your foot there. He's got it. He's got it. Get there. No.
Canvas is in. FTF.GG welcomes you to the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. For this, the Apex Action Photography 300. It's the new and not so improved Atlanta Motor Speedway, also known as Atlanta Super Speedway, for the Barr FTF Cup Series tonight. So we get set to go, race number 5 on the season. Jacob Pitts, Caleb Hoffman here with you. Qualifying is underway. And Caleb, we've had a little bit of a different way to put things together as far as qualifying is concerned. Instead of just setting your full 40-car field and having it and just calling it a day, we've kind of expanded the field a little bit, at least to start.
Yeah, and again, another fantastic car count here tonight, and we had quite a few drivers who are currently in the top 16 playoff positions miss tonight's race. Including Austin Farr, Daniel Falkingham, Dylan Basin, and Barr Visual FTF 500 winner Ryan Doucette, all not going to be a part of the field tonight. Either way, it's going to be a crazy event here for sure. We know with this new Atlanta, can expect some super speedway racing with 2, 3, maybe even 4 wide on the front stretch. But either way, it'll be a spectacle for sure.
And basically how this whole thing worked out, we had some, I think, close to 87, close to 90 drivers show up for this race. We took 60 drivers from qualifying to this session. The top 50 on speed, and then the 8 highest in 2022 owner points, plus the 2 sponsor provisionals. Those went to Spencer Ray and Justin Melillo, respectively. You'll see in the bottom left how we're going to do the rest of tonight, or on the bottom of your screen, we'll start left to right. 2 33-lap duels, 30 drivers in each of them. Stage points awarded to the top 10. Top 16 from each duel advance. Duel 1 will set the odd, the inside row. Duel 2 will set the even or the outside row. There will be a consolation race, and how that works, the top 4 qualifying times that did not advance, plus top 8 in owner points from last year that did not advance, plus the sponsor provisionals. So roughly 44, 46 drivers, somewhere in that window. That sets our field. And then 130-lap main event. We'll have a 50-lap first stage and then an 80-lap final stage, since the duels will pretty much take another duel-ish. Everybody, in a sense, is running the 300 miles that are on the board. It's just, it'll be done through the duels and then through the main event. Qualifying is done. We had to re-qualify once we got over here. So this is duel number 1 of 2. Your field looks something like this. Parker White, who's won back-to-back races, looking for 3 in a row, won at Vegas and The Rock. He's on the pole. Wyatt Tinsley, the runner-up in the championship last year, starts to the outside. Hamilton Akabuze in 3rd. Brandon Cattell in 4th. Corey Carpenter 5th. Kevin King, the reigning champ, in 6th. Logan Hilton 7th. Andrew Cootie is 8th. Nate Stewart 9th. Cosmin Yoneshu rounding out the top 10.
And looking back at row 6 here, you'll find Michael Cozy Jr. alongside Michael Guest, David L. Brown alongside Dylan Kim, Malik Ray, and Matthew Zwack starting alongside each other in row number 8. Blake Reynolds and Alan Lewis in row number 9. And rounding out your top 20 is going to be Jordan Worth and Lana Mills.
The remaining 10 drivers, Matt Danson did not have a good qualifying effort, at least in the initial session. Got in based off of owner points. He'll start 21st. Scotty Smith to the outside. Malachi Drake, Chase Durheim in row 12. Then Chris Wetz, Tyler Lannon, Matt Spalding, Josh Parker, Chris Overland, Ryan Pandicio. Your 30-car field here in heat number 1. 33 laps are up on the board. And at the end of these 33 laps, roughly half of this field will be moving on. Your top 16 advance to the main event. And depending on how this works here, we may see this again at Talladega. Look at that track temperature, 148 degrees. The in-sim time set for June 22nd, just past 1:30 on the east. Air temp 90, track temp. You could fry an egg on that thing. You could cook a steak on the racing surface. That's how hot it is. Pace car heads to the safety of pit lane. Parker White and Wyatt Tinsley on the front row. 33 laps. Duel number 1. We're racing at Atlanta. Parker White on the outside for Tony Kanaan Esports will lead the opening lap. Wyatt Tinsley all over the back bumper. The 2 Coke Series drivers, well, they're out in front early. It's a battle at this point for 3rd as Akabuze down on the inside. Corey Carpenter looking to the outside.
Yeah, really interesting with Parker White, Wyatt Tinsley here, how they've really been able to almost looks like a tandem out front here. And distance themselves from the field. It's about 3 and some change tenths out in front of the field right now.
Yeah, they are scooting away from this pack and doing a little bit of racing here at the track. earlier today in the sim, it's easier than you would think to break away from the pack. You need more than just 2 cars, though. I was in a race where... Nate Stewart got the wall, 3 wide. Everybody's okay. But I was in a race earlier. Oh, man, as now Cattell almost gets turned by Kevin King. These guys just keep trying to wreck, but they get it pointed in the right direction. Meanwhile, Wyatt Tinsley to the front. Parker White stuck on the outside, 3 wide. Tinsley tries to throw the block, and up on the outside, here comes the 63 of Logan Helton.
And all of a sudden, we've gotten super packed up here. And another thing to watch here, you saw Nate Stewart tagging the wall in turn 3 that last time by. With how hot this track surface is, it's going to be extremely slick. So you're going to have to watch out as we get later into these green flag runs, especially when you're...
he gets turned!
Nate Stewart's around!
Into the rest of the field. Big crash going into turn number 1. Up against the fences, Cosman. Jordan Worth is in this. Sliding down the banking. Josh Parker involved. Malik Ray gets a tap. Andrew Cootie around. And then the first caution flag of the day comes out at the end of lap number 4. There was contact. Nate Stewart, the first victim in this. 3 wide gone wrong, and it's so difficult going 3 wide through the dog leg here at Atlanta. Nate Stewart is where this all starts, but he gets away pretty okay here. Watch him, and watch the orange car in the middle. That's Kevin King. There's contact. Cosman gets turned up onto his side, goes Cosman. Cootie piles in. Jordan Worth nowhere to go up against the outside wall. Then they'll slide back down the racetrack, and cars just trying to avoid get a piece as well.
And we'll get another angle from up high in the sky here, and you see Nate Stewart just trying to get that car around Parker White, and a little bit of contact there with Kevin King. Big hit for Cosman as well, a tough break for him, and just really tough because at a track that's this narrow, like Atlanta, it happens so easily, and we'll go on board with Jordan Worth here. And you'll see all of this develop right in front of him. You can see Kevin King right there. And just out of nowhere, big hit. Andrew Cootie right there.
Oh!
And, yeah, Jordan Worth's just along for the ride.
Yeah, Cootie kind of pinches him up into the wall, and then Worth gets hit from behind. And just kind of pushes him back into the crash. And the pace car drives through. Nonetheless, first caution flag of the day here in the duel comes at the end of lap number 4. Logan Helton, currently your race leader. And everybody will reset here and get back to work once we get back to green.
And again, don't want to, kill you with it tonight, but you got to keep in mind here at Atlanta, this isn't going to be a place like Daytona, Talladega, where you're going to be able to consistently run 3, 4 wide in some cases. We're going to see a lot of double file here tonight, and especially through the corners. We saw in the Barr Visuals FTF 500 where that middle lane wasn't really viable just because it was like almost a tide. When that top lane would use them as a side draft or the bottom lane, you just couldn't really get grouped up together, and especially at a track surface, again, like Atlanta, that's even narrower than even Daytona. I feel like that is going to be exacerbated.
Choosing here at the start-finish line, and how this works: if you're on the apron, you're going to be on the bottom. If you're on the racetrack, you're going to be up on the outside. And pretty much they're using that land at the start-finish line there on the inside. So everybody chooses here and gets set to go. Helton choosing the outside line for the restart. Corey Carpenter will start from the bottom, or restart rather from the bottom. Still a long way to go. And just under half the field decided to come onto pit road here under this caution flag. Some of them involved in the most recent accident. Others, not so much, just deciding to head to pit road and take some tires and fuel. Blake Reynolds amongst those that decided to pit here under this caution flag.
And we'll really see here, shaking up a little at the front. We had Wyatt Tinsley and Parker White, and they find themselves no longer on the front row. It's Logan Helton and Corey Carpenter. Wyatt Tinsley, Hamilton Akabuize, and Brandon Cattell all inside your top 5 here. Want to see if which line really dominates, because Logan Helton, the control car here, I bet he gets a fair bit of a jump. It's just, again, you need that drafting help. So does Wyatt Tinsley stick with them, or is Helton going to launch out in front of the field? We'll just have to wait and see here.
Restart. 8 laps complete. Helton and Carpenter, green flag. We're back to racing here from Atlanta.
See, Wyatt Tinsley does do a really good job of sticking with Logan Helton here. They get bunched up in the back. That's Chris Overland, Malik Ray down on the middle line. And now Overland going to drop down in front of the 90 machine.
Through 3 and 4, Helton and Carpenter side by side, but not for long. So here comes Helton. He will clear. He stays to the outside. He has Tinsley right behind him. And in running at this racetrack earlier, the track temperature a little bit cooler from what I was running earlier, but it is so hard to turn into the corners. And really, no matter what the setup is, especially on worn tires, as the tires start to wear through the run, boy, oh boy, you get 30 or more laps into a run, you are lifting, getting into the corners, and you're cranking that thing hard to the left just about as it can go to try and stay in line. And then on corner exit, you run the risk of watching up the racetrack.
And again, it's why I don't really like to think of this place as a super speedway. The configuration definitely had super speedway-esque racing in mind when they announced it, but it really is a hybrid of an Atlanta and a super speedway. Where, you know, this is going to be kind of like old school Atlanta, where you, like, as you said, you do have to crank it going into the corner because of just how tight and narrow these corners are. But there definitely is a drafting element to it here, as you can see on board with Wyatt Tinsley here. But, you know, it's just a really interesting combination of the two, and it produces a very unique.
Caution. Crash in the back of the field. Scotty Smith and Andrew Cootie. There's Scotty Smith around. And our second caution flag of the night. This comes at the back half of the field with 22 laps to go in duel number 1. So we'll take a look here, get a replay, and see what happened. The back half of the field. Things were pretty calm up at the front, but go figure, it's at the back where drivers are trying to make their way toward the top 16. Here's the replay. Watch car 23.
And just a slight bit of contact. It's Blake Reynolds and then Andrew Cootie with nowhere to go. Chris Overland gets a piece of that. Everybody does a great job to avoid Scotty Smith for the most part. No one really majorly involved. Just a few pieces collected here and there.
Just looked like Smith there was trying to get out of line so he wouldn't get wrecked, and then Cootie just couldn't get out of the gas fast enough there and got into the back of poor Scotty Smith and turned him around. A couple coming onto pit road here, mostly toward the back. Blake Reynolds comes back onto pit road. Chris Overland, Spalding, Cosman, Michael Guest, Parker, Scotty Smith, all at the back of the field. We'll decide to come back to pit road. Andrew Cootie given cause there for the contact. And we're going to restart inside 20 laps to go in duel number 1 here from Atlanta. Let's take a look at the points coming into this season. Parker White, of course, he's won back-to-back races, won Vegas and Rockingham. Guest, your winner from Auto Club. Doucette, your winner from the 500. Of course, Doucette did not make it tonight. Wyatt Tinsley then 4th in points, but Afuko 5th. Kevin King, Blake Reynolds, Kevin McAdams, Derek Justice still in the top 10. Dylan Basin as well. Basin not here tonight, so he'll fall down through the order. And then you've got Falkingham, also did not make the race. Helton right now, who's leading. rather in second. Mercurio, Carpenter, Austin Farr, he goofed in qualifying and did not save his replay and did not stay in the session. So not only did he not make the race tonight, but he's going to be on vacation for the next couple of weeks. And then Frisch, that's currently your playoff picture. Seth Noel, a decent amount behind them. Cosman, Justin Malillo, Brandon Cattell, your top 20 in points. The field choosing down the front stretch.
And again, really interested on this restart. Wyatt Tinsley really capitalized that last time. Was able to get down to the bottom and take the lead. Now he will be leading this outside surge, excuse me. Corey Carpenter, who was on the outside row, we'll see if they can reshuffle again here on this restart. But been a lot of back and forth so far. And keep in mind as well, 19 to go here. We have another 33-lap event after this, and then we will get down to the main. So lots of racing to come here tonight from Atlanta.
Tinsley and Helton on the front row. Almost halfway through duel number 1. Tinsley and Helton on the front row. Green flag.
Tinsley again gets a great launch. Going to drop down in front of Helton here. Hamilton Akabuize, but Logan Helton wants this lead. He's going to pull up in front of Corey Carpenter. They're going to be side by side coming down the backstretch. Big push coming from Corey Carpenter. Is going to push Helton out to the lead as they head into turn number 3.
Helton around the outside, and the outside line pretty much where you want to be based on the last couple of years here from Atlanta. Well, okay, the last 8 months here from Atlanta. I guess this thing hasn't been out for all that long. Came out in July. Nonetheless, we are now at the halfway point. 17 to go. Helton still out in front. Leading the outside is Carpenter. The bottom side, Tinsley there behind. Helton, your race leader. Side by side, 3 wide further back. You've got Kevin King in the middle with Malik Ray stuck in there. Nate Stewart as well.
Yeah, Brandon Cattell, Michael Cozy Jr. leading that outside lane, trying to make the 3 wide, work. But now you're starting to see everybody else kind of drift up in front of him. Parker White once in. Oh, big wiggle from Corey Carpenter there. He almost gets turned out in front of the field, but does a fantastic job of keeping that car going straight. Here comes Parker White, though, and he is now all over the back bumper of Wyatt Tinsley, who's hoping to capitalize on this outside lane's new momentum.
Big run in the middle there, at least for a moment, from Carpenter. But now that middle line starting to recede a little bit. Your top 3 have pulled away. Helton, Akabuize, Zwack are your top 3. 4th right now is Tinsley. To the inside, and 5th is Cattell. They are 3 wide, all the way back behind. Here comes Zwack to the inside, looking for 2nd. Has the help from Cattell, and now he's looking for the lead.
And Logan Helton still trying to manage both of these lines. He's got Akabuize, he's got Wyatt Tinsley to worry about. If he gets clear, he also has Matthew Zwack and Brandon Cattell, who's now on the inside lane, to worry about as well. So lots going on right now, but Matthew Zwack, Brandon Cattell not going away on this inside lane. We've seen quite a bit this outside lane dominate, but Matthew Zwack and Brandon Cattell not having it tonight.
Tinsley looking to the outside, 3 wide. Little wiggle with Parker White behind him. Zwack on the inside. He leads at the line. Helton covers up the spot from Tinsley. He goes to the back door of car 63 and just pushes him into the corner. And Logan Helton pokes his nose back out in front off 2.
Keep in mind as we tick down laps here, got to watch for that transfer spot. See right around Matt Danson, Jordan Worth. 13 laps to go at the moment. Only 16 cars are going to make it out of this race. So that's only going to get more intense. You see they're already 3 wide just in that classic pack formation. Oh, Scotty Smith tags the wall there.
Cozy abandoned in the middle here in the top 10. Everybody else picking the way outside or the way inside. Now Cozy gets in line. Side by side, though, at the front. Tinsley on the outside, Helton on the inside. And it is 2 by 2 all the way through the field, coming to 11 laps to go.
Tinsley, Parker White up on that high side. These two have been really well, or working together really well. Logan Helton, Matthews Whack down on the inside. Really surprised that no one's really going to go with Cozy here as we go on board with him. And you see this outside lane just fly by. He has no help and no momentum whatsoever. He's got to find a spot in line ASAP, because if he doesn't, he will be missing this main event.
Free falling through the field right now. He's got to stay in the top 16 right now. He is 16th. Now he is out, reuniting, trying to, at least with his teammate you right on board. He falls all the way through the field. Back around the 20th spot. Nowhere for him to go in line. 10 laps to go. We're inside of now as the field off turn 2. Still 2 by 2. All the way back to the transfer spot. Danson Overland. Overland is the 16th car right now. Cozy is the first car out.
Still a dead heat up front with Matthews Whack, Logan Helton. That outside lane falling back just a little bit, and it looks like Logan Helton going to opt to leave that inside lane and go up in front of Wyatt Tinsley now. We'll see how that car responds up on the high lane. From what we've seen throughout the week, though, this will eat at your tires with 9 laps to go. Is maybe something we got to watch for, is not many people pitted yet today.
Coming to 8 to go. 3 wide back around the transfer spot right now. Cozy, the last guy currently in at the line. He's battling his teammate there in Matt Danson. Malachi Drake is there. Chase Durheim is in there. He got a little squirrely and had to give up spots. Overland is there up on the outside. Right now, he's the first one out. Danson and Cozy trying to wrestle that spot away.
And I'm really confused as to why these Altus Esports machines weren't really working together. It looks like they get nose to tail now, so maybe they do have a shot of working together, but right now both of them need to be battling Chris Overland for this transfer spot, because right now Matt Danson is out, Chris Overland's in, although that's subject to change as they go into turn number 1.
Things have cooled down back there for the moment. It has really cooled off, and the back half of the field has really just fallen apart. Overland right now the first one out, and he's got a half second back to the cars behind him, so it's a 17 car pack fighting over 16 spots. Coming to 6 laps to go. You take a look up high from the blimp. Helton fighting back on the outside. He has the lead at the line.
Still 2 lanes dominating around this 1.5-mile super speedway. And you can see Michael Cozy Jr. has gotten his way with Matt Danson so far. They're both now battling these 2 cars ahead of him. Cozy's going to tag the wall just a little bit on the outside there, and that's going to hurt their chances even more, coming to 5 laps to go.
Who's caught them now is Drake, Tyler Langdon, and Jordan Worth. So it's now a battle back there for the position. Right now, Malachi Drake is in. Both Altus cars are out. Now, Cozy would be able to fall back on the 2022. I don't know if he'd be able to fall back on that or not. Danson for sure would, since I know he had to fall back on that just to make the show. So he may be able to do it again. Michael Guest is way back, by the way. Some 7 seconds behind the leader. I know he's also got to use points to get in. That's how we got into this race. Otherwise, he would risk being on the outside looking in. It all depends once we get to the consolation. That's not quite a race as much as it is let's set the field once again for the guys at the back and who makes it in and who doesn't. We're coming to 3 laps to go. Logan Helton out in front. Parker White looking to the outside. Can't get there. Wyatt Tinsley starting to drop back on the bottom side. And back at the transfer spot, Akabuze, who was up inside the top 5, he is now clinging for one of those last spots. Jordan Worth and Malachi Drake wrestling for 16th.
It's Helton, White, and Kevin King right here on the outside now. Wyatt Tinsley's poked his nose up inside this top 3, top 2 now. It's going to be side by side coming to 2 laps to go. All eyes right now on this transfer spot. At the moment, Chris Overland, I believe, has it.
Overland in, Drake currently in 16th. Here they come off turn 2, side by side. Parker White dropped to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to pull Tinsley around, and he's got the advantage. Up on the high side, it's still Logan Helton with the push from Kevin King, the reigning champ. Now, Helton up by the wall. Here comes King, 3 wide. Bye-bye, Logan Helton. White flag in the wind, 1 to go.
And now Logan Helton, with no help, has to be very careful as to not fall outside of this top 16. I think he'll find a slot as Blake Reynolds thinks about going with them. Either way, still side by side. Kevin King, Parker White down the backstretch. It's a dead heat as they go down this backstretch for the final time.
Kevin King pushed out in front. He's got Malik Ray behind him. 3 wide in the middle of the pack, right around the transfer. Right now, Akabuze, the last driver in. Here they come off turn 4. Kevin King wins to a 1, and at the line...
Cozy!
No! Yes! Scoring refreshed once, but twice. Cozy's in, Akabuze out by 52 thousandths of a second. Also out are Drake, Lanen, Danson, Mills, Smith, Pandicio, Durheim, Wetz, Guest, Cootie, Oneshu, Parker, and Spalding. All of those guys are going to need some help with the consolation. They're not completely out of it, but Cozy, back against the wall, gets it done, finishes in 16th just barely, and he will race later tonight for sure. All right, Duel 2. Here are your results. King, Ray, Cattell, White, Tinsley, Zwack, Lewis, Cam, Helton, Reynolds, your top 10. The other 6 that are confirmed in: Brown, Carpenter, Overland, Stewart, Worth, and Cozy. 17th on back. Their fate is determined by the consolation, which we'll get to in a bit. Again, that's not a race. Basically, Justin Malillo will tell us this guy's in, this guy's out. Now, the grid for Duel 2. Kyler Wynn on pole. Sebastian Marin in second. Daniel Botafuco, Jonathan Goke. Then Liam Sheen, Alex Kolonix, Jack May, Seth Noel, Derek Justice, Kevin McAdams, your top 10.
And looking on back, Brandon Hawking going to be starting from the 11th position. Lawson Peel in 12th to his outside. Jordan Haynes in 13th. AJ Green 14th. Row number 8, 15th going to be Ryan Naraki with Michael P. Frischt alongside him. Jake Poulin in row number 9 with Kyle Merkel his outside. Rounding out your top 20 is going to be Nick Miller starting 19th and Scott Ricard 20th.
Rest of your field here: Brian Mercurio, Connor Horn, Sean Butler, Aaron Riolo, Spencer Ray, Justin Malillo, Lucas Plesselart, Reimer Nicholson, and Andy Margot, all at the back of the field. As your field now rolling, they're coming off turn number 2, getting set for the start. 33 laps up on the board for them.
And we saw in duel number 1, didn't really see a dominant lane. I was kind of surprised there. I thought we would see most everybody favor either the outside or the inside. And really, we didn't see one or the other take control or take advantage at all. The outside lane had its moments, but the inside lane also as well had a lot of support from everybody. So interested to see if that continues or if...
Let's try that again. Duel 2's underway. Kyler Wynn, your leader. Daniel Botafuco, second on the inside line. Lap number 1 about to be complete. You haven't missed much. for duel number 2. A shot to the back end here for Win. And they're back to turn number 1, still side by side at the front of the field. Botafuco on the bottom, Win up top, 2x2, pretty much the whole way through the pack. Things a little bit calmer, it seems, this time around than last time around through duel number 1. Still side by side at the front, Win up on the outside, Botafuco on the inside. You've got Marin up top in second. Jonathan Oates, the 2021 FTF Grand National Champion, down on the inside line in a second as the field makes their way to 3.
You see Kyler Wynn, Daniel Botafuco still kind of gridlocked here. And again, not really seeing the emergence of a third lane. We didn't see it with the leaders very much in duel number 1, but more so around that transfer spot. These guys, in their head, still have plenty of time at a track here like Atlanta, so that urgency hasn't exactly picked up yet, but keep an eye on it as we get further through this race.
Now they come off 4 laps complete. This is about as far as we made it in duel number 1. Now peeking to the outside, 3 wide is Goke. Kalanick's up the middle, saying, look out, pardon me, I'm going to the front.
Yeah, Seth Noel was quick to go with him as well. Kevin McAdams, not so much. He thinks he has a better shot here in this middle line, or what is the high line for the leaders, but doesn't exactly want to test out that third lane just yet, and I'm kind of with him on that. With how hot this track is, and if your tires get worn out, come the end of this race, if there's not a caution or an opportunity to pit, really, then you don't want to be up on that outside.
Five laps complete. Still side by side at the front, 3 wide further back. Right around the Kevin McAdams range back there, just around the back end of the top 10. As Kyler Wynn still up on the outside, doing everything he's got to do right now. Botafuco on the bottom, still a long way to go here in duel number 2. Here they come back to turn 1.
And still at the moment, it's Sebastian Marin all over the back end of Kyler Wynn with 27 laps to go. It was one car tagged the wall outside of turn 2. I believe that was Haynes.
Still 3 wide, right around Kevin right now, just hung in the middle. Cars to either side, right around him. One of them, I think, was Lawson Peel. He gets by without any issue there in the 12. As Kevin just continues to work his way back, and right now he is in danger of being on the cut line.
And I mean, a lot of big names are going to miss this transfer either way. Right now, you see guys like Frisch Naraki are on the outside looking in. Sean Butler now as well, Nick Olson. So all these guys really got to scramble, and it's 16 spots for 30-some drivers. So a lot of good names are going to be out after this.
Kevin does finally get to the bottom back there in traffic. Now the first man out, at least for the time being. Still 2x2 pretty much the whole way through this pack. Much calmer run here through duel number 2.
And I mean, feels pretty reminiscent of another set of duels where we have one chaotic one and one pretty calm one. So far, this has been the calm one, but that's still subject to change. 23 laps to go. Sebastian Marin, big push out to Kyler Wynn.
That pushes him out in front. Now Marin looking 3 wide. No, Wynn slams the door shut. And the good news for all these guys is this is pretty much a dress rehearsal for what they could do later on here in this race. They just have to make it through this duel into the remainder of the Apex Action Photography 300 here from Atlanta. 10 laps are complete, make it 11 here as they cross the line. 22 to go in duel number 2.
And, I mean, again, it feels very reminiscent as you see Brian Mercurio going 3 wide, back a little bit deeper in the pack. He's going to try to get underneath. He's got help. I believe that's Justin Malillo behind him in the 91. Trying to get underneath the 29 machine.
Here comes Buttafuoco back on the inside. Got a great push from Jonathan Oates. Marin trying to give that push right back to the 82.
And again, this feels, again, very reminiscent, straightforward version of back with Speed Weeks. You had the Clash at Daytona and then the duels at Daytona, all this type of stuff. And, you know, a majority of the complaints were that it was all just a big testing session. And again, that's basically, again, all this is. It's qualifying and a testing session all wrapped into one. You got to see what moves are going to work when you get out on the track for real, and you got to make sure that you will be out on the track for real here later on for the main event.
The Texas Longhorns shot 7.7% outside the arc tonight against Penn State and still won. I'm disgusted.
I'm glad that Penn State lost just for your suffering.
Yeah. How those Falcons doing?
All right. I did see as well, if we want outside sports information, the Sebring 12 Hours, apparently there was a wreck involving 2 of the leaders or something like that. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it or anything like that, but I saw everybody freaking out about it. So that's your outside FTF sports update.
Oh. Yeah. Wow.
Can we get a booth chat link and just analyze this live?
This, believe it or not, comes straight from iRacing, who tweeted this video out, and that's where I saw it. And that's ugly. Yeah, that's a woof. Goke is in the wall, though. Look out. Come back to reality. 1 car on the apron. They're 4 wide through the quad oval. Mercurio blinking, but he's all good. And they get it sorted out.
Back to virtual reality, you mean there? Art Reimer,
yes.
Off the pace. And looking back, Andy Margo.
Oh my gosh!
Currently 21 seconds.
Hold
off the
on.
pace. Uh-oh.
Baseball? Are you kidding me, Trey Turner? World Baseball Classic, top of the 8th. Philadelphia Philly Hall of Famer Trey Turner just hit a grand slam to take the lead over Venezuela 9-7. Take that. Can you tell I'm excited for the end of the month when this Phillies team gets to hopefully not lose to the Texas Rangers in the first game of the season?
Who cares about baseball? Take it through some NFL free agency. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, yeah. Out in front, it's Oates with 15 laps to go. Wynn is in second, side by side with Buttafuoco.
Yeah, Buttafuoco here on the outside still. He and Sebastian Marin have just been inseparable. They just don't want to leave each other. Now with Liam Sheen leaving Kyler Wynn there. Again, this outside lane. Oh, and Sheen almost gets turned. They got to check up big time. They're going to stack up throughout the pack. Buttafuoco, and it looks like Marin's around.
Oh, there we go.
It's going to go around as well. We have a big wreck on the backstretch, and all of a sudden, the calm duel has turned into the chaotic one as half the field.
Well, really, it's only 2 cars.
Got through it.
Yeah. So Marin involved, Hawken involved. For the most part, everybody else is able to avoid a little bit of damage to a couple more cars in this. The 01 of AJ Green, not the receiver. Connor Horn got a piece of it as well. add in that Aaron Riolo and Brian Mercurio, but only half a dozen cars for contact at the front of the field. And we're back under caution here at Atlanta for the first time here in this duel. I think the third time or fourth time overall. We'll get a replay. There it is.
And again, that wreck should have included a lot more drivers than it actually did when you have two cars that spin out in front of a packed up field like that, but everybody does a fantastic job of avoiding it. Brandon Hawkins going to just ride along the wall there and hold the brake. Hopefully nobody touches him, and nobody does. Sebastian Marin, you'll see it all starts with Liam Sheen, just gets a little bit loose off that bump from Daniel Buttafuoco, and then a little more contact sends Marin around, and then Hawkins back up in front of the field. He makes a little bit of secondary contact, but otherwise everybody else going to be good, and we'll get set up for a restart.
Pit stops. And folks at the back are pitting. Folks at the front, though, for the most part, are staying out. You've got the top 11 staying out under this caution flag. Everybody else deciding to head to the pit lane. I have no idea what's going on right now. Not a clue. So, okay, so, yeah, we're going to go to break because I have nothing good to say about the program we're using to stream right now. So we're back in a moment. Apparently we're back. Yeah. All right, we're back. How we doing? All right, Kyler Wynn and Jonathan Oates are on the front row getting ready for the restart.
This will be interesting again here. We saw we're far enough into this run that we're starting to see pushes upset the cars a little bit. You're going to be a little harder to drive than they have been. It's not going to be just mindless, throw it into the corner. You're going to have to think about it just a little bit, be a little patient. It's going to be interesting here. 10 laps to go as we come to the green.
10 to go to settle duel number 2. Remember, top 16 move on. Everybody else.
Oh, Kyler Wynn.
Well, good luck. Green flag. As I'm not sure.
That might be a penalty.
Wynn changed lanes. Wynn's going to get a black flag. He changed lanes before he got to the start-finish line. You cannot do that. Nate Stewart immediately calling it out, saying that's a lane change. And he's all the way up by the outside wall, so he's not going to pit. At least not now. Of course, he also has not been given a black flag. 9 laps to go. Kyler Wynn still out in front. The question is, for how long? This field makes their way off, too.
Yeah, it was a definite David Reagan there. We have one
look
car
out.
all the way under the apron. I think that's Collins. He's going to be able to merge, and we're going to survive somehow. But even so, we're 3-4 wide through the pack. And it's getting crazy right now for the transfer spot with under 10 laps to go. Call it 8.
Jack Mace has hit the wall not once but twice getting into turn number 3, and he's about killed. 9th on back each time he's done so. Here they come off turn number 2. They keep it out of the wall for now. They're looking at the restart after the race is done. So Wynn could race himself in and wind up out 4 wide with Kevin. Hey, there we go.
Shit, gonna go
That
around.
goes out.
Is in it.
Big crash on the front straightaway. That's half the field. Jonathan Oates was the first car sideways. Several others pile in. He had contact. He got loose, and I think had contact from... That's Sheen in the 73 and not Jonathan Oates. I hate everyone and everything.
We got a sub this week.
You're going to need a sub for me right now. Replay.
All right, I got it. We're good.
Here's the replay for... yeah, okay, well...
Yeah, well, you see it
Close.
there. He's definitely on the outside lane before the line, and I think it's just wheel spin, and then he just decides to go with it with Liam Sheen lined up right behind him, which, again, that is... looks to me like an illegal procedure on the restart. Can't do that. This is the caution. For the first time today, really, we've seen 3 wide throughout the entire pack. They're going to get stacked up here on the outside, 2011 Xfinity style. Kevin McAdams, it was actually kind of 2 incidents forming at once, both centered around that 01 car. Sheen gets turned on the outside, and Kevin McAdams gets turned on the inside, and they just converge into one massive pileup.
Yeah, so Sheen just gets loose on the outside, or whoever the hell's in the 73, and then the 4 wide down here with Green and Kevin wind up going wrong. That gets Mace into the wall. Now Rocky is in it. Seth Noel around. The 91 of Rabideau, he gets hit again, but Afuk goes around. Through the grass goes Marin. Lot of damage with some of your front runners. Goke involved in this. Lawson Peel involved in this. And we are choosing here.
Crazy wreck there, and all of a sudden, Michael P. Frisch, who was on the other side of that cut line, about P19, P20 or so, has control of this race and has the lead. Shows you how fast things can change here with a wreck like that. And again, this race has been flipped on its ear. It's Sean Butler up here as well. Kyler Wynn, who again is still kind of subject to race control, so we got to keep an eye on that transfer spot, because if for some reason Kyler Wynn, or not for some reason, if Kyler Wynn if that move is declared as illegal and he finds himself on the other side of the top 16, then we'll have to bump whoever's in 17th up to 16th, and it'll change the outcome of this. So
Sean!
Oh, we got Bob.
He broke his ankles, and he hit the... Oh, man. He goes to the back. By the way, on its ear? What?
You've never heard that?
No.
You flip something on its ear?
No.
It's turned on its ear, my fault, according to idioms by the Free Dictionary.
Turned on its head, I've heard. But
that's actually a Charles Davis Madden original, actually, is where I'm getting that from. Ball for life, Charles Davis. He's a commentator. How do you not know him?
Yeah, I've heard of him. I've played the horrible game that is Madden.
All right. Well, he's an NFL commentator, too. You just can't
I'm aware he works with Iron Eagle.
I hate my co-commentator. We got FTF Civil War going on.
Here's the restart. 4 to go.
I was worried we broke you there, but either way, Michael P. Frisch, big launch, doesn't have help from Justice behind him.
Frisch is long gone. He clears down in front of Kyler Wynn. Now he jumps up to the outside line to pick up Derek Justice up there. Down the back stretch. Noraki has to get out of the way. His car is broke. So he's got to try and get out of the way and not kill the rest of the field. Coming to 3 laps to go. Frisch on the outside, Win on the inside. Justice trying to push that 58 home to the checkered flag.
Either way, 3 to go here at Atlanta. It's Michael P. Frisch and Derek Justice on the outside. Kyler Wynn challenging for the win on the inside. He doesn't quite have the help, though. He's got Kolinix and Gok and not much else right now, and that outside lane is fully formed up. He's got help from Lawson Peel behind Derek Justice. Marin's there as well, but they're going to think about going 3 wide here with 2 laps to go, and there feels like another wreck impending any moment now.
For the transfer spot, Ricard, Olsen battling for it. They are well back in this 3-wide mess coming off turn 2. Frisch out in front. 2-car breakaway with him and Justice. Win trying to fight hard on the bottom for the win. But the battle right now is all in the transfer spot. Currently, it's Riolo. And there is carnage back here. Last lap.
Still 3x3 formation all the way back through this field right now. Nick Olsen has the transfer spot over Budafuco now, who we saw lead a lot of this race but was involved in that last incident. It's still just shuffling back and forth and too close to call throughout everywhere. We almost have a wreck off turn 2. Things are getting crazy back up at the front. Brandon Hawk and Kyler Wynn's battling Frisch for the win.
Here comes Wynn to the outside. Frisch has the momentum. Crash! Art Reimer into the wall. Back around the transfer spot. Frisch will win. Who's the last one in? Crashing for the transfer spot and sideways. Jordan Haynes is in. He is the transfer spot. But over Brian Mercurio by 10 thousandths of a second. Olsen out. Sheen, Mace, Noel, McAdams. Margot, Ray, Merkel, Riolo, Horn, Malillo, Reimer, Noraki, all out. Frisch, your winner. Haynes, the last driver in. Nick Olsen is already left in a fit of rage because I think he knows that he does not have a way to get in. Haynes on the last lap. You just got to watch where he came from because he was way back outside the top 20. As there you see Art getting turned around and his end result. He got wedged 4 wide and got driven through by Sheen. But watch Jordan Haynes in the 156. You see him there, or the 151 rather. Cuts through, hits Mercurio, sideways, gets a tap from Sheen, and without that and then the contact with Olsen, Jordan Haynes would not be in. Instead, Haynes is in. Olsen is out. Sheen is out.
Just absolute chaos. And again, Brian Mercurio, they're going to be the first car out. We'll take a look at your results.
Frisch, Hawken, Butler, Wynn, Marin, Kolinix, Gok, Justice, Miller, Plessel, your top 10. They all advance. As do the next 6, AJ Green, Scott Ricard, Pullen, Peel, Budafuco, Haynes. Everybody 17th on back. Gonna need a provisional.
Again, it includes guys like Brian Mercurio, Nick Olsen, Liam Sheen, who we saw up front for a majority of this race. Jack Mace was making some noise after starting 7th. It's just, again, we have 2 more after this, looking back throughout the rest of the results. Seth Noel, Kevin McAdams, Andy Margot, Spencer Ray, Kyle Merkel, Aaron Riolo, Connor Horn, Justin Malillo, Art Reimer, Ryan Naraki rounding out your top 30. And again, in this back half, just lots of big names.
So now we wait. And it's up to the admins. So I guess we're going to step aside here, go to a break, and we'll be back for the real race, I guess. We'll be back. We'll see you in a bit here on FTF.GG.
reaching out, and my heart is with you. So much in between, things we've never seen. You're a mirage that my mind can't see through. Are you here with me? One day we can see. And all my life, unbroken ways, but I know that time makes ways. But I know that time makes ways. And all my life, unbroken ways, but I know that time makes ways. But I know that time makes ways. Yeah, I know that time makes ways. All my life, unbroken
feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be This lake of fire burns my skin. How could love wear so thin? I'm sinking in the hollow ground. Nothing can stop me wanting you somehow. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be
The longest 300-mile race of my life here from Atlanta. Let's go through your grid. The inside row back to 32nd, so row 16, set by Duel 1. The outside set by Duel 2. Kevin King and Michael P. Frisch are on the front row. A lot of heavy hitters here at the front of the field. By the way, Kyler Wynn did not get penalized for changing lanes. The reason why, they did screw up. They really should have reviewed it under the caution flag that happened a little after that. They didn't. Therefore, Wynn gets a spot. He would have made the race anyway, though, because he would have gotten in on speed with the provisional. So look down through the rest of the order. 33rd on back is set by provisionals. And how this works. 4 guys set on speed. 8 more set on owner points from last year. Plus Ray and Malillo, who are your sponsor provisionals. So it's Mills on back here that are set by the provisionals. So Mills, Ray, Akabuze, Noraki, Ionescu, Reimer, McAdams, Spalding. And then your remaining drivers here on the last page. Maybe. Guest, Danson, Wetz, Malillo, Mercurio, and that's it. So it's a 45-car field. Drake is the first one out. So 45 cars will take the green flag. As we are just about set to go. Here from Atlanta, Jacob Pitts, Caleb Hoffman with you. 130 laps are up on the board. Stage is at the end of lap 50. There is no caution for the end of the stage. Field makes their way through 3 and 4. And we'll see how far we can go before we start stacking things up. It's the reigning champ, Kevin King, on the front row. Michael P. Frisch, your defending winner at the old Atlanta last season. The defending winner from this version of Atlanta a season ago, Philip McCandless, he's not here. We're underway officially in the main from Atlanta. Malik Ray leads the opening lap with help from Brendan Cattell. Kevin King down on the inside line fighting for that lead. But he ain't gonna get there right now. The field off turn 2.
And it was a big move for Malik Ray that got him the lead on the backstretch. Parker White and Kevin King fighting hard on the inside lane, though. You saw a few guys that were starting to drop to the back. Matthew Zwack, Kyler Wynn among those. They're trying to just get out of the chaos that is going to be this front pack on this opening stint. Lap 3, complete of 130 here from Atlanta.
Ray leading the outside line. King leading the inside line as they make their way down the backstretch side by side. The outside with a little bit of advantage here. Malik Ray all but clear from Kevin King. By the way, one car did not start the race initially, started from the pits. That was Landon Mills, so he is away from the rest of the pack right now. Malik Ray still out in front. He'll drop to the bottom, and he is clear for the lead.
And that outside lane really dissipated here. I don't know if everybody's just trying to get to the bottom right now or what happened, but it's a 4-car breakaway. Malik Ray, Brandon Cattell, Michael P. Frisch, and Brandon Hawken here on the outside. They'll try to get regrouped.
Comes Cattell looking to the inside. Had help from Frisch. Frisch stays up on the high side. Hawken up there as well. And Cattell breaking several laws, driving a Dale Jr. paint scheme on a Dodge on a next gen, is going for the lead.
And he's getting help from the Dale Jr. 88 number font there from Kevin King. Brandon Hawken going to clear himself.
Junior Motorsports driver there in that 88 with Kevin King. That explains the number change. He was car number 29 a season ago.
And now you start to see, this is what I was kind of theorizing in those first 2 duels, that we would see a lane start to kind of dominate, and all of a sudden everybody's moving up to the outside here. Malik Ray, Frisch, and Cattell. And now after it was the outside lane that was really dissipated, all of a sudden now it's the inside lane kind of has that fate, but we might see that changing soon. Here comes Brandon Cattell.
Off turn 2. Sorry, I had to do some investigative reporting, trying to figure out who in the world Isaac Somalo is. Apparently he played for the Eagles.
He was a great run blocker for y'all last year. And,
yeah, he was great at 5-yard and 10-yard penalties in the same category as Jordan Mailata. And Mailata commits a lot of penalties, and he is staying with the Eagles for more time. He's still got some time on his deal. Somalo gets to make the trek across the straight.
Ooh, Landon Mills off the pace here.
He gets to let Kenny Pickett get sacked 20 times in a season. Oh, man, Landon Mills, as we talked about, he started from the pits, missed the grid, and he's going to get eaten alive. No damage to him, though. He'll eventually get back up to pace, at least we hope. But right now, he's going to get eaten alive by the field.
Everybody again kind of bailing on this inside lane. As soon as I say that, though, Wyatt Tinsley is trying to test the waters once again. Michael P. Frisch going to go down, and now everybody's going to go down. Goat going to be leading this outside lane on board here with Kolnick as they come to complete lap number 10. Malik Ray still your leader, and it looks like for time being going to stay that way.
40 to go in stage number 1. You ride on board now with Goat. Second on the outside line. Vikings jersey in full effect. Big Kirk Cousins fan.
I know we've talked about it, but that wall of diecast there is so cool. I just love the setup he's got going on. I can't wait to have something like that going on. Very impressive.
Have the Vikings made any sort of deals yet? I guess they kept Harrison Smith. Thielen's gone, which,
they
whatever.
signed Marcus Davenport to a 1-year deal, the Saints edge rusher.
You'd see him twice a year because of the Falcons. Not a clue in the world.
They got Byron Murphy from the Cardinals, who was their #1 corner. They released Eric Kendricks. I think that's all they did.
Bears winning the Super Bowl.
I don't know about that.
They're definitely better than last year, but that's not saying much. Yeah, that's not saying much. Oh, man. Well, nonetheless, 13 complete here at the line, side by side. Tinsley on the inside going for the lead. And just beats out Malik Ray for the top spot at the line.
Wyatt Tinsley there, Michael P. Frisch down on the inside lane. Oak's done a good job of crawling his way up all the way to P3 right now with Kolinick's help. And starting to see shades of what we saw in the Xfinity race today, where it's that inside lane just stalling out.
If you can get enough cars to the outside line that can stay close together, that outside line will work. In a race that I did here, obviously different track temp, different setup in a fixed. What I ran earlier today, the bottom side was really our friend. The difference is my iRating is horrible. It was a bad split. Yeah, we only had one caution through the whole 50-lap race, but we were along the bottom of the racetrack the whole time. So it was not like the outside line here where we're seeing drivers slide up. This is more along the lines, though, of what we saw back in July of last year on the Cup side of things as Kolinick gets forced 3 wide. Oh, man, look out, Kolinick.
And again, this track right now, super hot, super slick. And like you said, on the Cup side, last summer in Sim, this is in June, and that summer Atlanta date for the Cup Series is mid-July. And actually being at that race last year, I mean, again, I know it was completely scorching that day in Hampton, Georgia, and no different here. It's going to provide a lot of the same effect as, whoa, we're almost going 4 wide there, going to get it sorted back out. This group with Kolinick, I believe that's AJ Green on the outside, Sebastian Marin on the inside, and they were peaking for sure for a second.
That's always nice when you hear a driver come over the radio and say, sorry, I'm not paying attention. Oh, no, man, Plessel.
I thought he was
hangs
going around.
on. Yeah, he had some contact from behind. That was AJ Green that almost turned him around in front of the field. But they sorted out. Green backs off so he doesn't push him around again. And out in front still is Tinsley. Ray in second, side by side with Frisch for the time being.
And really up at the front, a lot more aggressive early on than I thought we would be. And it's really taken similar fashion to the dual race, although this isn't for a transfer spot anymore. Just back through the pack, all these guys are running a lot more aggressive formations, trying this 3 wide. And if you're a guy like Cozy or Butler right now in the middle of that, you got to be kind of fearing for your life every time you go into one of the corners because, you know, you could see some aero looseness up top with those cars getting loose. You could see a guy under you, the nose, start to get lost and just push up on you. A lot can go wrong here, so it takes a lot to be able to run in this middle line. But guys like Jordan Worth, Michael Cozy Jr., Sean Butler couldn't have a better group of guys that are trying to make it work.
Well, and as the run goes later on, especially if you're not taking care of your tires, if you're on the inside line, you are going to wash up the racetrack, especially on exit. You might be able to get that car down to the bottom on entry, but when you come up off the corners, you are going to wash up the racetrack. And if there's somebody to the outside where you're 3 wide on the bottom, there's going to be contact, and that's where things really get difficult. You hit around lap 30 on a run, and you're going to notice the cliff, and that right front tire ain't going to do right front tire things much longer.
And I mean, we saw that. I believe it was Larry Pace on Thursday night for any of you that tuned into the qualifier series, and we just saw it where he was running the middle line and that truck would just constantly wash up to the high lane and ended up in a wreck eventually. And I feel like we might see a similar something to that with these next gen cup cars. Either way though, remains to be seen. 23 laps through this run so far, in about 5 to 10 laps we might see something to that effect from these guys that are hugging the bottom.
Trey Turner's post-game interview, he says, quote, Joel Embiid is the MVP. Start building the statue. All I got to say.
Who cares about Philadelphia?
Well, a good number of folks, and I can't wait to watch the Sixers lose a world championship.
How many championships can y'all lose within a calendar year? It's really almost impressive at this point.
Well, the Flyers lost their shot like week 2 of the season. The Union lost in the finals. The Phillies lost in the finals. The Eagles lost in the finals. The Sixers have to make the finals, but they're on a hot streak now. As long as Joel Embiid and Harden stay healthy, and you know, Milwaukee gets into a bus crash or two, we might have a shot. They might have a shot, rather.
I'd laugh at you, but poor old Titans haven't even sniffed the playoffs this past year.
Thanks for AJ Brown, appreciate it.
I'll never get over that.
Oh my. I did not know who AJ Brown was until draft night last year.
We were in this booth right here calling a Road to Pro race when I saw AJ Brown had been traded, and worst night of my life.
And then he went on to finally be the first 1,000-yard receiver for the Eagles in like 9 years, which is painful to think about considering they won a championship in that span and did not have a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, it was washed Alshon Jeffrey, I think, at that point for y'all.
And Nelson Dropsy Aguilar. Zach Ertz was good and still is good. They also had Torrey Smith that year before he retired. And who could forget the elite running back room that was Jay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount.
That's all
the good old days. Yeah. That's where I'm like, well, let's see. That Jordan Howard, he was the next year, I think, after Blount retired. Nonetheless, up front, Goke on the bottom, Tinsley up top. We'll stop reminiscing about the good old days that were 5 years ago and focus back in on the battle up front. It's still just been 2x2 pretty much the whole way through the field.
And really starting to see a lot of slipping and sliding as we get off our football tangent there. Apologies to the viewers at home. Big push from Jordan Worth on Goke here, and that's going to put him in position to challenge Wyatt Tinsley for the lead out at turn number 4. And again, this bottom lane here in the next few laps, if they haven't already started to get slipping and sliding.
Oh, Frisch! Oh, man, what a save! Down on the bottom of the racetrack. Whoa!
Still in a tight spot here with Sean Butler to his outside, Parker White as well. And Sean finds himself in a pretty precarious position right now where he just has no support from the guys behind him. Alex Kolonix now going to find himself in that position all the way up on the outside. And again, we talked about it early on, but as we get into this run, that third line really going to subside. Almost a little bit of contact between Kolonix there They keep it straight, and I believe that was Haynes that he almost made contact with. Oh, and he's up into the wall now.
Almost got into Kevin King. They scatter, but everybody's okay. Tinsley still out in front. Guest 3 wide up on the top of the racetrack. Things starting to get chaotic. We're inside 20 laps to the end of stage number 1. Remember, there is no caution.
And again, a theme we've seen with a lot of the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series races this year is for the first, 4/5 of a race, call it, it'll be chaotic, sure, but we won't see any wrecks, any cautions, anything of that sort. And we get through a round or two of green flag pit stops. And then for that last 5th of the race, it's just pure chaos, it feels like. One thing that we have not practiced today or had an opportunity to witness is a round of green flag pit stops. And I'm really curious to see who's been practicing all that procedural stuff. Because again, that's where everything will come back to bite you. If you haven't practiced your green flag pit stops and we get in a position where you need that, you will, again, find yourself in a bad situation if you mess up on entry or just really any part of that sequence.
Again, closing our way in to the end of stage 1. Tinsley out in front by a couple car lengths. Jordan Worth on the bottom. With help from Goke up on the outside, it's Malik Ray, the lap car of Mills, and then you've got Michael Guest. And we know how strong Guest and Ray are when they team up to try and get themselves to the front. 3 wide, a little further back, though, as Sean gets shuffled 3 wide.
.34.35 call-out laps through this race right now. Wyatt Tinsley has built himself about a quarter-second gap for the time being. Don't expect that to remain the same for very much longer, as here comes Malik Ray with a big run down the backstretch. And something that we saw really early on in duel number 1, I believe it was Wyatt Tinsley with Parker White. They were able to kind of get a mini tandem going, and I thought we might see hints of that throughout the night. And really, ever since they were able to gap themselves from the field for a split second, we haven't seen any hints of that at all, as Cozy's going to wash up off the inside lane just a little bit. Michael Guest has to do some recovery there with Parker White right behind him. They're going to keep it clean, but maybe not for much longer. Lap 36, these tires are starting to scorch on the 150-degree Fahrenheit pavement.
Coming to 14 to go in stage number 1. Tinsley still pulling away out in front. Ray is still second. Worth is fighting for third with the Parker White in the 011. He's won 2 races back-to-back. You got the 125 there of Landon Mills. He is a lap car in this lead pack as they make their way to 3.
Jordan Worth now poking his nose into this battle for the lead with help from Parker White. And still side by side between Worth and Malik Ray. Wyatt Tinsley is able to control both of these lanes for the time being.
Down the back stretch. Here comes Jordan Worth with a push from Parker White. 3 wide further back, but here comes Worth trying to ride the lawnmower to the front of the field. Tinsley's going to get him at the line. No, Worth did get him at the line, just barely. And he'll get another push here from Parker White to turn 1. 12 to go in stage 1.
And keep in mind here, one car that I've noticed has a ton of speed that isn't necessarily reflected by the scoreboard. Big block from Wyatt Tinsley, almost turns Jordan Worth. They're going to be 3 wide for second. Parker White's going to split Malik Ray and Jordan Worth through the middle. We almost had a big moment there. Jordan Worth now on the defensive, has Michael Guest helping him. Landon Mills pushing Malik Ray on the outside. Parker White with help from Cattell now through the middle. They're 3 wide through the pack once again, and we almost junked them.
That was ugly. And now they have caught Tinsley once again as Kalinick bounces off the fence. Outside line checks up for just a moment. But Tinsley got a little too far out in front, and the rest of the field has caught him. Coming to 10 to go. in stage number 1. Worth up the racetrack. Firmly takes over second in front of Malik Ray. And now he looks to the inside, got some draft, and he's looking to go for the lead here on Tinsley.
And again, before we had that big moment there, I was just going to talk real fast about Landon Mills, who right now is keeping pace with these leaders. But again, started from the pit lane, so has scored 1 lap down at the moment. Parker White trying to make a move on him. But, you know, if this 25 car can get a break, if that's a caution or through other means, then he might just have a shot at it. Has a lot of pace at the moment. Back up at the front, though, with Wyatt Tinsley. Jordan Worth looking on back now with this group going 3 wide. You see Brandon Cattell, Michael P. Frisch, David Brown in this group as well.
They get it sorted out, at least for now. We're getting close to the window for pit lane. And you have to keep in mind here the fact that we are not using the commitment cone on the back straightaway because it doesn't exist here on the sim. Nick Miller slaps the wall coming out of the dog leg, but he keeps it good. 8 to go here in stage number 1. Worth trying to hunt down Tinsley, and so these guys are going to have to pit at speed here the way it looks from the exit of turn 4. And if it's anything like yesterday, rather 2 days ago, as Guest bounces it off the fence in the eNASCAR qualifying iRacing series, it's going to be hectic.
It's already hectic. You see Parker White had to lift big time out of the throttle there, and he's now going to find himself helped by that group with Michael P. Frisch. I believe that's Justice behind him as well. And there's got to be some form of coordination here from these guys trying to pit. You know, we might see some guys that are trying to stretch this to the end of the stage for stage points reasons, but I feel like if you're at the back, you got to come in sooner rather than later.
6 to go. In stage number 1, Wyatt Tinsley, your race leader, is pitting this time by. He's got to get to the bottom of the racetrack. Guest will not let him get down there low. Guest to the inside for the lead. Now Tinsley gets down. Oh, boy. Oh, I see how he's doing it.
Following the real life.
He's still speeding up. He's still speeding up. He's doing 130 on the apron. But he pits just fine. Jordan Worth, your leader, with now 5 to go in stage 1.
And I mean, even if Wyatt Tinsley isn't expecting this entire pit cycle to play out, this could really show what kind of mentality he's going in here with, more focusing on the overall race win rather than the stages. Either way, though, back up at the front, it's Jordan Worth, helped by Michael Guest, Sean Butler, and Michael Cozy Jr. down on the inside. Expect Malik Ray to make a big move here shortly. He and Michael Guest, very familiar with one another. If you remember back to the Barr Visuals FTF 500, those two were working together all speed weeks, and now they find themselves nose to tail once again down on the inside. Michael Guest with the lead. Malik Ray slot him into P number 2.
So Malik Ray's going to pit. Frisch is going to join him. How many drivers are going to make the call to come onto pit road this time by? You're coming to 3 to go in the stage. Look at everybody washing up the racetrack. Here comes the whatever he is, the 700, the 007, I don't know. Malik Ray makes it. So does Frisch. They're the only two to pit. No black flags for them. The field's still rolling, coming to 2 to go in the stage. Kolnix is going to pit. Jordan Worth down at the bottom. Wonder if he's going to pit. Kevin King is staying out. Here they come into 3. Let's see who makes the call. Jordan Worth is coming. He didn't let everybody know about it, though, and he's going to miss pit road by a mile. And Sean Butler almost ran him over. He did not tell anybody he was pitting. We are at 2 to go now here in the stage. Guest, Kolnix were the two that pit. Sean Butler's going to pit this time. Cozy pitting this time. Kevin King is still on the outside. Looks like he's going to stay out. Sean is going to have some folks join him on the pit lane. Cozy is one. Sean misses it. Cozy misses it. They all missed it just about. Spencer Ray makes it, as does Spalding. Kevin's mad, but I'm not sure who he's mad at. Oh, I guess the 08 of Goke, who completely missed pit road. We're on the last lap of the stage. Here comes the 88. Kevin King out of 4 as folks are pitting behind. Kevin King! No! Did he get it? No! Parker White steals the stage at the line. Are you kidding me?
And that was a fantastic move there for Parker White. With all the chaos around him of everybody trying to make it onto pit lane. Sean Butler, you saw with the pit road version of leading the field off the cliff because you're using that guy in front of you as judgment on whether you'll make it. So when Sean Butler missed it, it felt like everybody else did. Here comes the rest of the field. Parker White, Kevin King, and everybody else. Oh,
look out.
Landon Mills.
Logan Helton about missed pit lane. No black flags, though, for everybody on the pit lane. There is a crash on pit road as Haynes just got drop kicked by somebody trying to cut across 4 lanes to get to his box. Malillo just ran out of fuel. Where is he at? Malillo is out of gas, coming to his box. Oh, man, and he just gets into his box. Here comes Brown and others. Marin on the pit lane. Stewart is there as well. Everybody currently on pit lane, if they haven't already made their stops. That's Michael Guest with the 007, Malik Ray. Collinix is with them as well. And these two, make it these 3, are trying to take the lead away right now. They're going to be your provisional top 3 once Marin, Brown, Kevin, Stewart get back onto the racetrack. They are now rolling. Here comes Guest off corner 4. And 2 second, 1 second, and Michael Guest takes the lead right there. So move the 9 back out in front, and this pack has splintered apart, and I can't believe we survived a round of green flag pit stop.
Yeah, it's fairly surprising to me as well. And just looking around at the field right now, the max that we saw on that first green flag round of stops there, looks like the maximum that we're going to be able to make it is 51, maybe 52 laps. So by that logic, looking around right now, you're going to have to make one other stop at the very least. And then with green-white checkers, some overtimes, we might get close. But otherwise, bank on everybody else looking to make one more stop.
Michael Guest, your leader. Parker White, your winner of stage number 1. Still a long way to go here from Atlanta. Michael Guest down in front. We're back after this here on FTF.GG. Back here on FTF, Michael Guest, your leader. Malik Ray second, Kyle Nix is third. Here's your second pack. Parker White trying to lead them around. Some 2 seconds behind the leader. And they are trying to catch the 3 horsemen out in front after green flag pit stops. We're in stage 2, trying to make it all the way to the end. Jacob Pitts, Caleb Hoffman with you. Let's get a replay here. Right when we went to break, Matt Spalding got turned by Matt Danson. Was not enough to bring out a caution. There it goes. Hard hitting the wall for Spalding. His race done. It looks like he will finish P last tonight.
And a tough break for Danson there. Another guy who's not feeling the greatest right now. Wyatt Tinsley, who came down, if you remember, a few laps before the stage break by himself. He now finds himself outside of the top 20, currently running 21st. So a net loss of about 20 positions running on that alternate strategy. And he's also going to feel the effects of that tire wear a lot earlier. So I feel like for Wyatt Tinsley, a lose-lose strategy here.
Yeah, he's got some work to do right now. Here are your leaders. Guest Ray and Kolnix.
And they've done a fantastic job of just running by themselves at this point. A 2-second gap on Parker White, who is the leader of the second pack. And you can see they've really cut out the BS at this point. They're telling everybody in that line to run single file so they can make up time. Because right now it's a 3-horse race.
That's Danson. The leaders are passing. Here's your second group. And they are starting to close just a little bit now. The gap under 2 seconds. So they're making time on these guys, and they are now single file. They were doubled up, but I think that was hurting them.
And you can start to see now Parker White's closed in about 3/10. And I believe this is Matt Danson who has caught on with this pack as well. Not exactly what you want to see if you're Parker White on back. The lesser amount of help that these top 3 have, the better off you're going to be. So not good for Danson to be up here drafting with these guys if you're a fan of anybody 4th on back.
You can see how hard Malik Ray there was pushing into the back of Guest. Just trying to push him along and keep that gap up. That 4th car being in this group is actually helping them maintain the gap between themselves and that second group.
And I mean, again, going back to Malik Ray and Michael Guest here, they have just such a good chemistry when working together. Hopefully the last football analogy of the night, but I mean, you can sometimes just watch some of these transcendental guys, like a quarterback and a wide receiver who just understand each other and what each other are thinking. It's a really similar aspect if you're somebody like Michael Guest, Malik Ray, when you're just attuned to what each other are thinking and can anticipate each other's movements. It really helps a lot when you're working with the draft and bumping, all that kind of stuff. So again, really helpful that these two are paired up together.
Reset the order here for you. Guest, Ray, Kolnix, your top 3. The lap car at the tail end of that group is Matt and Danson. Then leading the second pack, Parker White, Lawson Pugh, Kevin King, David L. Brown, Nick Miller, A.J. Green, Brandon Hawken, your top 10. Frisch, Helton, Reynolds, Cattell, Carpenter, Marin, Overland, Zwack, Botafuco, Tinsley, currently your top 20. Notables behind that, Wetz 23rd, Stewart 24th, Cosmonaut Eshu 27th, Kyler Wing 28th, Ryan Rocky 29th, Derek Justice 30th, Malillo 31st. Jordan Worth has fallen back to 32nd after missing pit road. Cozy is way back there in 38th, after he missed pit road. Similar with Kevin and Mercurio, 35th and 36th respectively. Sean Butler missed pit road and then had a penalty on pit road. He is currently 42nd, a lap down.
Little by little here, you're starting to see this second pack. Parker White, Lawson Peel, Kevin King among those in it, starting to reel in this first group just a little bit. And you can see Malik Ray all over the back bumper of Alex Kolinick, trying to get him back a part of this group. And again, this front pack can use all the help they get. So you saw Malik Ray and Michael Guest starting to gap Kolinick's back a little bit. And Malik Ray is trying his best to keep everybody packed tightly together. And looking back right now, that interval still just ticking down. Parker White, you can watch that number on your left on the ticker there just slowly start to move down a little bit. As soon as I say that, the gap opens up a little bit, of course. But either way, everybody's trying their damnedest right now, working together. Parker White leading this charge. And looking around the racetrack right now, I mean, that's just everybody's goal, is trying to catch these three leaders. Get everybody together. Lawson Peel and Parker White themselves are starting to gap Kevin King on back, and that'll happen here at Atlanta. And I'm interested as we get further into this run, how we'll start to see tire wear again from these guys that are trying to run the bottom. Do we see this entire line move up to the middle or the top lanes, or do we see them continue trying to work this bottom the shorter way around the racetrack? The only way to tell is going to be waiting and seeing either way. Lots of good names back here in this pack. Even looking back, you have guys like Blake Reynolds, Brandon Cattell, Corey Carpenter, who had a lot of speed in his duel, Chris Overland as well. Matthew Zwack, Daniel Buttafuoco is the first car that is not directly with this group. Wyatt Tinsley back there with him as well. You can see everybody else. And again, they just have to do their best to work together and get grouped up here. Either way, they're going to be out of contention for this race win. And Wyatt Tinsley, somebody I really have my eyes on. Again, he pitted early before stage one ended, as we're approaching the closure of stage number 2 as we go on board with them. But Wyatt really had a lose-lose strategy where he came in a lot earlier than the rest of the field and didn't have any track position gains to show for it. He pitted from the lead and lost about 20 spots as he sits P21 at the moment, but he's going to have to deal with that tire wear and that fuel as well if we go green. And he's really put himself in a precarious situation trying to pit for the end of it. But either way, we'll have to stay tuned to see Daniel Buttafuoco, another guy in front of him that has had a lot of speed here tonight. Back up at the front, though, Parker White. Looks like this group's finally caught on with Malik Ray, Alex Kolinick, and Michael Guest. You see Parker White all over the back bumper of Malik Ray here now. Might try to push him past Michael Guest. Ray going to stick with the number 9 machine. Parker White down to the inside, and for the first time in this green flag cycle, new leader, and everybody's starting to scramble on back. Malik Ray to the outside, Kevin King working with them, and we're starting to get racy once again, side by side as they come through the dog leg. Give that lap to Michael Guest once again. Here comes Kevin King with help from Alex Kolinick on the outside as we go on board with the Junior Motorsports machine. He's going to tag the wall. Alex Kolinick's now going to ditch him with 53 laps to go. That 88 subsiding after that contact. Parker White with help from Lawson Peel. These two have been working together trying to catch up now that they finally have. Now trying to take the lead from Michael Guest. Lawson Peel now going to leave the driver of the number 11, David Brown, now with him on the inside. That outside lane all of a sudden where the momentum, all the energy is with Kolinick. They're 3 wide behind him. AJ Green down on the inside. Brandon Hawken now getting past Nick Miller. On the outside is Logan Helton sitting just outside the top 10 in P11. And really starting to see everybody racy here. And looking about 30 laps in on this stint. 32 at most and 29 at the least for most of these guys up front. Lawson Peel now dipping to the inside of the white number 9 in Michael Guest. Malik Ray still hooked up to the back end. Big wiggle out of Michael Guest as they get stacked up. Malik Ray, Alex Kolonix, Kevin King all on the outside lane stacked up together. On the inside, it's going to be Lawson Peel with help from Parker White, David Brown. A big moment there at a turn number 4. Michael Guest, Malik Ray, Alex Kolonix all grouped up on this outside still. Michael Guest going to dip down to the inside lane in front of the number 12 machine of Lawson Peel, leaving Malik Ray open on the outside. The number 9 going to drift back up to the high side, going to lead with 49 laps to go here from Atlanta. And we're going to welcome Josh Mendoza onto the show for a quick moment while Jacob figures out some technical difficulties. Josh, what have you been seeing on the racetrack?
I've been seeing a lot of stack ups, a lot of crazy moves. We saw it go single file there for a little while, but it seems that the temperature has been turned up to 11 here. Michael Guest continuing to lead out front. He had a country mile there, and it was incredible that there wasn't a larger stack up, but we see a lot of drivers out here just coming and going with these runs. It's been insane, Caleb.
And right now, again, we're at that point in this green flag stint where you're going to start to see tire wear really affect these drivers. And as we close in on the end of stage 1, you're faced with the same dilemma that we saw earlier. And is it, do you stay out for the stage points or do you come in a little bit earlier? Again, we saw Wyatt Tinsley try the latter method there of coming in before everybody else, and it really nipped him, and he's been on an uphill battle ever since, still outside of the top 15 at the moment. A little bit easier now that both of these packs have converged together.
Yeah, Caleb, it is. I think the strategy is really simple. It's whatever puts you in the best position to win at this point. Because we had those twin races earlier tonight, we won't be having any additional stages, just one stage tonight. And so those points have already been divvied up. It is here to the end. But either way, I think earlier is better as long as a caution doesn't come out. If you think a caution's going to come out, I would suggest staying out a little bit longer, but we already saw so many people push it to the very edge and almost run out of gas.
And in the end of that first stage, we saw Justin Malillo actually was one of those drivers that ran out of fuel. And yes, 46 laps to go. We will be running to the end here under green unless we have a condition on the racetrack that elicits a caution. But either way here, still Michael Guest and Malik Ray on the outside. These two work together all of Speed Weeks, and here at Atlanta are trying it once again. Michael Guest going to dip down to the inside. Parker White, Alex Kolonix on the inside lane, trying to work together to get past this power duo of Michael Guest and Malik Ray.
Yeah, self-proclaimed super speedway racer Malik Ray. He is showing right now the entire world why his tweets are true. He is leading that outside line, looking to go to the front, working right now with Michael Guest in order to push themselves further and further ahead. I think he's clear right here. If he wants to come down, he totally could, but clearly he's going to stay in that middle, wash up a little bit. He prefers that second groove over the inside line.
Absolutely, and again, with tire wear here, that inside lane becomes less and less viable as you're trying to arc that car. A shallower arc with it is going to push you up further off of exit here. And again, we've seen that all week throughout the Coke series and then the Road to Pro Qualifier iRacing series. And so I'm not surprised that a lot of these guys like Malik Ray, defending champ Kevin King, Lawson Peel, all on the outside are opting to stay there, given the opportunity. Really been surprised by Michael Guest, not his ability to control both. Do you see, we start to see a few guys coming onto pit road. Jake Poulin, Justin Malillo, Ryan Naraki, all in that group.
You got Kevin McAdams as well as Cosmo Ionishu. Those were mostly people from the pack that was about 2 seconds behind this main pack. So that's only going to hurt that second pack as far as catching up, unless they can make it happen here as they go a lap down, still not off of pit road.
You got to be very careful here. If you remember back to the first round of green flag pit stops we saw with Jordan Worth, who did not communicate with everybody else behind him that he was going to be pitting and actually missed his stop. And he sits in the 29th position now because of that error. And the guy pushing him, Sean Butler, sits back even further, looks around that 40th position, give or take a few spots. One lap down, yeah, 37th right now for the driver of the number 32. Either way, 40 laps to go here from Atlanta, and pit stops for this lead pack should be occurring any time now.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting. These guys, it's getting really tight off of corner exit, off of turn number 2 there. They're going to keep it going forward. All these people that are in that outside lane will inevitably need to move to the bottom to come down pit road. And we already saw what happens when there are just too many people coming down pit road at the same time. Easily, you can end up with damage. You can end up with a penalty. The amount of bad things pretty much outnumber the good things that can happen on pit road 10-1.
Absolutely, and either way right now, you're starting to see a few guys get grouped up here on the inside. May we see Nick Miller come in this time with AJ Green stuck behind him.
I think we're going to have about 4 or 5 takers here. We got 3, actually. And Brandon Cattell loses it. Chris Overland overshoots pit entry, is going through the tri-oval. He's going to abort pit entry and go right back out. That's not going to be a caution. But that, I think that might be a penalty right there for both Corey Carpenter and Brandon Cattell. The 047 made it lucky and was able to avoid any sort of penalty, but those 2 other drivers who came down pit road got a unsafe pit entry.
Oh, here comes Michael Guest, Malik Ray, both onto pit road. Kolonix is going to miss it. AJ Green gets on the pit road as well. Kolonix almost spins it back in front of the field. But everybody manages to avoid him. And again, this late into this race, only 37 laps to go. Any mistake now could potentially be the end of your race. Either way, back up at the front, Kevin King has inherited the lead with Parker White, Lawson Peel, Matt Danson, a lap down car, Brandon Hawken in 4th, and Logan Helton sitting top 5 right now. And we see a few. Kyler Wynn almost spins, getting onto the pit lane, and it looks like Lucas Plessel misses the commitment line. Going to be a penalty for that machine. Matthew Zwack, another taker on pit road as well, and this pack is just splintering off one by one, as we saw again on the first round of pit stops.
Corey Carpenter, who also got a pit road penalty, decided it was easier to just quit and take it off track. Brandon Cattell penalty, Lucas Plessel penalty. We see Frisch and Dylan Kem. Oh my God, if that was not the most beautiful pit entry from Frisch, he was able to get around that 9 car and still get it down to speed. That was a pit entry position game.
Masterclass.
Yeah. Alan Lewis, black flag.
Either way, Kevin King, Parker White, Lawson Peel, all still in control of this race. And again, with 35 laps to go, they are inside the window to make it to the end. If we continue this race under green flag conditions, which we might just see with how this race has been going, although that has been kind of a trend this season in the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series. You see Michael Cozy Jr. coming off the pit lane now, going to go 1 lap down. And he's wiggling, maybe out of fuel for the 99.
I think he's out of fuel right now. I'm looking at his telemetry, and it is going down a mile per hour a second. It looks like he is doing something. We got several takers.
Yeah, it's all the leaders now. Kevin King's on pit road. We had 1 miss it, I believe. That's Hamilton Akabuize back there. Yes, the 45 machine. Looks like he's going to join Chris Overland and guys who missed that commitment line right there. Maybe we see Logan Helton once again. Brandon Hawken, Daniel Buttafuoco now, this top three, if we see them take. And yes, they will. Oh, Daniel Buttafuoco going to spin it in front of Sebastian Marin. They're going to save it somehow, but they're going to have to abort very quickly, get back up to speed, and make sure they don't go a lap down. A close call there. And again, we're going to dodge a caution. Here comes that lead pack. This is Michael Guest, Malik Ray, who were your leaders before we had that cycle. Cosmin Ionescu's in this group as well. And now Malik Ray and Michael Guest going to get tandem bumped together.
This isn't good. Those guys that missed pit entry, we don't know what their fuel situation looks like. And we've already seen fuel be a problem. They're going to try again. Oh my goodness, that was almost a wreck there. Is your heart rate back down to normal yet? I don't know how long it's going to be for mine.
Not quite yet after, again, that close call with Sebastian Marin, who still going to be on the racetrack, is your leader at the moment. 9-10 seconds now over Brandon Hawken, who is on the pit lane. And you see this group led by Kyler Wynn, passing Marin on his outside. Wyatt Tinsley, Zwack, Frisch, all in this group. He will be coming down this time by. And right now, it looks like Michael Guest going to once again inherit the lead here with help from Malik Ray. And Cosmin Ionescu, Jake Poulin, Justin Malillo. These guys all pitted early, and it looks like it's actually cycled out well for them. Now they all find themselves within the top 10.
We see a little single file action. There are cars everywhere around the track at this point. This is probably the most defined pack that you see here on screen. And this is going to probably be the pack that we will see the leader come from unless a yellow flag comes out. And that's going to be that right there. We'll be right back for the FTF Barr visuals.
We're back here from Atlanta. I've broken free from the porta potty, and here we go for the final 25, coming to 24 laps here from Atlanta. Michael Guest is your leader. Malik Ray in second. It's a horde of cars behind him as Sean Butler has dropped out. He was already a couple laps down, had some issues getting onto pit road in our first run of green flag pit stops. Only the early caution. We've been green since that point, but the second pack is a-coming. And the guys out front are starting to feel the breath of the guys behind because the pack is coming.
Absolutely, and Michael Guest, Malik Ray have done a fantastic job, but Speed Inc. as a whole, don't know if they even call themselves that anymore, but Cosmin Ionescu, Jake Poulin, Ryan Naraki, Justin Malillo, Kevin McAdams, Michael P. Frisch, I believe, is in that group as well. I'm actually looking down at the voice chat, I don't see him in it, but they had a master class of a pit road entry there where they were multiple laps down coming in and have cycled back out inside the top 10 here, and maybe they'll need a caution to sustain that track position, but either way, it's a net gain at the moment. They look like geniuses here with 22 laps to go. Parker White breaks inside the top 10 now. He was inside the top 5 earlier, but meanwhile, Michael Guest, Malik Ray, and Cosmin Ionescu trying to navigate some lap traffic here with Hamilton Akabuize, who we saw had some trouble getting onto pit lane. Jonathan Goke as well.
Yep. We'll get by another here. That's the 05 of Scott Ricard that they're going to get by. And how about the guys in this top 5? So you got Guest, Ray, Ionescu, Wynn, and Tinsley. Poulin is there in 6th in that machine. And then you've got Frisch. He's going up the middle. Look out. Here comes Michael Frisch flying through the middle. You've got Chris Wetz. He's on the lead lap here. Kevin King. Parker White. Oh, there they go. Poulin's around. Into the wall. Caution's out. Parker White is around. He saved it. Jake Poulin gets the worst end of it on the front straightaway after Frisch got almost turned sideways off the bumper of Derek Justice. And then it was Kevin King that made contact with Poulin and puts him into the wall, and this gives us a caution with 20 to go.
And not to sound like Larry McReynolds here, but the trend is going to continue where we go 2 cycles of green flag pit stops without issue. I have a few close calls, but with 20 laps to go, we find ourselves under the first caution of the day. And as you said, Jacob, it's going to start right here with Jake Poulin. They get stacked up, a little bit of contact with Parker White and Kevin King, and Jake Poulin just gets sent around on the front stretch. And again, first caution of the main event with 20 laps to go, and this completely changes the outlook of it. And I think you got to pit here, and it looks like everybody else is going to agree with me.
And now everybody onto pit road. 4 fresh tires for pretty much everybody here, as it's Akabuize that's going to get the free pass. Parker White wins the race off pit road. You want to know why? 2 tires. Everybody else takes 4. Your top 6 stay out here. Peel, Brown, Helton, Hawken, Botafuco, Green. Everybody behind Parker White takes 4 freshies. Parker White decides to go 2.
Bold strategy. We'll see if it plays off for him here.
Trying to win his 3rd straight race in a row. He won duel number 1 by inches earlier on. Upcoming events here on FTF. Here are a couple. I don't have any of this in front of me because I am prepared. Here we go. Winstell, they're at Bristol tomorrow. Let's see. Autobahn is at Spa. That's Monday at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Simcar is back on Thursday, 8:30 p.m. from Sebring. And then we are back a week from tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. Yippee. And then Road to Pro's back in pretty much at the end of the month, March 30th, Thursday, 9 o'clock, from also Texas Motor Speedway.
Do you think if we got enough drivers together that we could get a Texas boycott going on?
Maybe. Well, which would you rather have? Would you rather have Texas and get it out of the way on the schedule, or would you rather go to Dakota and then have to go to Texas later in the schedule? I'm perfectly okay with not doing Coda.
We'll give it the iRacing benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
Not real life. Few shakeups here. It's like Kevin King gonna be hit with a end of line penalty here, so he's gonna all of a sudden go from inside the top 10 to all the way back. Looks like mid 30s for the 88 machine. I assume that's because of being ruled as the cause of that last caution.
So, some guys, King got the EOL because of the crash. Frisch got an EOL because of hitting the choose area. It's not a cone. The choose zone, whatever. 17 to go here on the restart. Peel and Brown stayed out. Lawson Peel, your race leader, your top 6 stayed out. Let's see what happens. Green flag. Peel gets a great jump on the bottom. First car on fresh tires belongs to Wyatt Tinsley right now. He is in the 5th spot. He's on the bottom behind Brandon Hawken. And here we go down the back stretch as they get up to speed.
Yeah, expecting complete chaos as they get up through the gears going down the backstretch here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Big move from Logan Helton. He's trying to block Michael Guest. Didn't have the real estate. Michael Guest now down on the inside, pushing Cosmin Ionescu. Wyatt Tinsley on the fresh tires, though. He pit super early after leading, and all of a sudden, with 17, 16 laps to go, call it, he will inherit the lead once again as they're 3 wide, all up in pack formation now behind him.
Down the back stretch, Tinsley out in front on those fresher tires. He's got Peel right behind. And it's Brown. Here comes Helton to the inside looking for 3rd. 3 wide further back. Cosmin Ionescu in the middle. He's got AJ Green to the outside. He's got Guest and Ray to the inside. And Cosmin getting eaten up back there. Kyler Wynn all over the back bumper. Here comes Lawson Peel, though, for the lead into turn number 1 with some help. Slides up the racetrack. Is he clear? Yes, he is. He takes over the lead.
A great move there from Lawson Peel.
Oh, there they go. Botafuco into Guest. Down to the inside wall. They slide back up toward the racing surface. The back of the field. Cozy gets in it. Goke, Landon Mills, and the caution's out. I thought maybe everybody else was going to avoid, but the contact coming back up across the racetrack collects a couple more. And the
Daniel
caution.
Botafuco, man, gonna get hit.
Yeah. Meatball flag for him. That thing is broke. And
Cozy
so is the
as well.
99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We've got trouble. Matthew Zwack is around. Zwack has spun under caution. Cosmin absolutely cleaned him out. What?
we got beef?
Cosmin says he wasn't paying attention. And that's the way he drifted up the racetrack and absolutely dumped Matthew Zwack. Not on purpose, but he clocked him. We'll get a replay of that after we get a replay of the crash. David L. Brown gets up by the wall, and it's Botafuco that gets sandwiched in here. Cosmin gets an EOL for the contact. Here it is. You see the contact, and he gets into the back of Logan Helton. And it's on. Guest comes back up the racetrack, and on the inside, he gets nailed. There's Cozy nowhere to go. Goke nowhere to go.
Yeah, Mills involved in that as well.
Yep.
And you see it again there. Botafuco, Guest, just nowhere to go for that middle line. And, I mean, 13 laps to go. I don't know. Feels like common sense that you unwind 45 cars that are all super hungry to get into victory lane here, and something like that's going to happen. On board with Cozy, you can see this wreck happening way up ahead of him. Going to be following Goke here, and he sees both of these guys wrecking.
Oh, he had the right line, and he just
hold the
It was
brake.
Botafuco. It was Botafuco coming back up. He was on the brake, to be fair. And it was Botafuco coming back up the track that got cozy there, and he just picked the wrong line. If he picked the top, he would have gotten through it. Meanwhile, Cosman, let's go to him with Zwack under this caution flag. This was after they had gotten back to the line and were catching the pace car. Here it is. So, nope, I think this is too far back, and it is. There you go, getting warmer. Okay, getting warmer. All right, let's try it again. Here we go. So he's going to go around the outside, and Cosman just walks it up the racetrack and gets into him. Wasn't paying attention. And around goes car number 7.
Almost like he was watching twitch.tv/FTF_GG there. 12 to go. Tell your friends. Here at Atlanta, but shame for Zwack, and then Cosman going to get an EOL here. And from our in-house mathematician, looking at Cosman's rec score, it says, he says that we're at 1, which technically should be a 1-lap hold, but they're going to call it an EOL. Hypothesis is maybe just because it's a secondary incident and not a cause of caution is why this is an EOL for Cosman, but try to get some clarification. But either way, the 84 are going to be tail end of the longest line here with 12 laps to go. Going to join Frisch and Kevin King are among some of the others who have gotten bopped with that here recently within the last 5-6 laps. But again, I mean, going to be, what, 10 laps to go coming to the green. And Lawson, Peel, Wyatt Tinsley going to be your 2 leaders out front. And Wyatt Tinsley has been up front earlier in stage 1. But, of course, with that pit roads strategy that went awry for him has been kind of caught at the back for the rest of this time. Lawson Peel's been quietly up inside this top 5, top 10 all day, it feels like. Logan Helton as well. So a lot of these guys have a lot of speed. They just haven't really had the chance to showcase it with the Michael Guest Malik Ray show. But now with Michael Guest out of the race, or at least with a fair amount of damage, looks like we might have a few guys who want to play spoiler.
And Guest is still out there. He is still on the lead lap. He is back in 32nd. He does not have a meatball flag. By the way, Cosman does have a black flag. I'm not sure why, but I don't know. Whatever. I'd imagine we'll get cleared. So Peel will be on the outside. Helton will be on the inside for the restart. And we're going to have 10 to go on this restart. We do have 3 attempts at a green-white checker if we need it. And let's see if we can figure it out here. Alrighty, here we go. Peel and Helton on the front row. 10 to go from Atlanta, green flag.
Tinsley didn't do as good of a job of keeping up with Lawson Peel that time. A little bit of a bump sent that 20 car back just a little bit. Lawson Peel has control of the field, but will he get freight trained as they go down the backstretch? Malik Ray going to make it 3 wide up top, and he has help behind him as well. Wyatt Tinsley's going to be clear in front of the 7 car, and all of a sudden we have a lane on the very top starting to emerge. He has help from Parker White.
Caution, trouble in the back. Couple of cars into the outside wall. Lucas Plessel, Kevin King, Michael Guest, Alan Lewis involved in this. Caution back out once again. And we will try it again. It looks like a stack up behind, a stack up on the outside line involving Justin Malillo, and it just continued to stem all the way back through the field. Jordan Haynes was the first car sideways. And we do get a caution. By the way, Cosman does have a penalty. And here's the replay. You'll see the outside line check up. Justin checks up big. And Nate Stewart, you missed it there, but Stewart gets into the back of Haynes, turns him around, and, well, okay, yep, let's re-rack, try it again. Haynes gets turned by Nate Stewart. Nate Stewart said over the radio that he did everything he could. He was on the brakes trying to get off of him. And there goes the 151. Guest, Plessel, Allen, all piling in. And Nate Stewart says he thinks that's a racing deal, but he's going to get the EOL for the crash.
Yeah, I don't know if technically, yeah, because he did cause that, but, I mean, again, I don't know what more you want him to do. He's on the brakes there, and not so much on the brakes that he's going to stack everybody else up behind him, so this is a tough spot for that 4 machine to be in, and tough for everybody else that was involved in that, as we will have to re-rack the field once again. Should be a restart coming with 5, 6 to go, somewhere in that ballpark.
Depending on when they get the 2 to green here, rather when they choose. I would think, though, that we're going to be choosing next time by, so we're going to replay with, or rather a restart with 6 laps to go. Oh, no, we are choosing here, so we are coming to 1 to green. So we'll get a restart with 6 to go. Yes, duh. All right. Here we go. Lawson Peel chooses the outside, and Logan Helton back to the bottom.
Lawson Peel, Logan Helton, Brandon Hawk, and David Brown. Get everybody sorted out. To no one's surprise, really, it looks like the preferred lane is going to be the outside here. Again, I mean, there are lots of faces right outside this top 5 if we do see an incident that could all of a sudden be thrust in position to win this race. I mean, looking at guys like Malik Ray, Parker White's been up front, Kyler Wynn's had a lot of speed, Jordan Worth had a bad pit stop early on and has just now been able to rebound from it in the 97 machine. AJ Green, Alex Kolnick, Kevin McAdams, even guys like Blake Reynolds, Ryan Naraki, if the field plays out a certain way here, could find themselves in contention. Either way, we'll find out. Coming to 6 laps to go, which should be one of the final restarts of the day here.
Here we go. 6 laps to go. We do have 3 overtime if we need it.
We will.
Lawson Peel, Logan Helton. That's the spirit. Peel and Helton on the front row for the restart. 6 to go. Green flag. And once again, a great start from Lawson Peel. Gets out in front. This is what allowed him to retain the lead at the caution flag as the field makes their way up to speed. The problem is he is way too far out in front. He moves up to try and protect the outside line. Hawkins going to get turned. He saves it. Oh, what a great save on the outside line. But here comes Helton on the bottom to take the lead.
And that's what you have to do. David Brown glued to the back bumper of Logan Helton, and these guys
Crash, Parker White around, into the outside wall. Blake Reynolds is in this. Mercurio is around. Chris Overland is around. We may be going to overtime here at Atlanta. Hard hit for Reynolds. His car destroyed. Parker White tried to get down in line, and he was not clear when he did so. And he paid the price and brought almost a half dozen with him. And Reynolds, his night is done. It starts with Parker White in the 011, who's won back-to-back races. Tries to cut down in front of Naraki.
Not clear.
Yeah, well, he was there. It was a hole. He went for it. The problem was he went too late.
Yeah.
Parker White just went way too late, and by the time he got down there, he got turned back up into Reynolds. Overland comes down, wipes out Mercurio, trying to avoid. If you watch the 047, that Menard's car at the right of your screen, He's going to turn dead left here. He gets into the back of the 45, just turns dead left and comes down into Dr. Bob and takes him around as well. Not a lot of damage, but still a slide for them. And we are indeed going to go to overtime here at Atlanta. The caution's been extended, and we are currently at 4 to go, coming to 3 to go. So at the minimum, I think we're going to go 1 over.
And again, we have 3 attempts if we need them. First time, obviously, if they make it to the white flag, the next flag will end it, which would be checkered flag. Second attempt is the same. Then that third and final attempt is the FTF point of no return. And under those rules, if any wreck happens at all, there will just not be a caution for it. That's including before they get to the white flag.
What? Repeat that again?
The point of no return, where any wreck that happens, there will not be a caution for it?
Yeah, that's called the last lap in stage races. If they wreck before they get to the white flag and it's a caution, we'll go to overtime.
Yeah, we're talking about the third overtime attempt. Mr. Jacob Hitz not listening.
We're nowhere close to the third overtime, so I don't know why we're talking about it, but...
Just explaining it because we're entering the overtime period.
Well, actually, we're not. So,
okay,
get wrecked.
all right.
So we're 1 to green now. Ben shortened it, so we will get 2 laps to settle it of regulation. So Helton and Zwack will get us going with David L. Brown, Derek Justice, and Lawson Peel. You guys didn't notice it, but I may have dragged Caleb out of the booth and then drag him back in.
I was padlocked out, banging on the door, trying to get back in to call this finish. But
oh, my.
All right.
All right.
The race is delved into chaos. The booth is delved into chaos. We're past midnight on the Eastern Seaboard. It's pure FTF chaos.
We were told this race would have ended a half hour ago, but who's counting? Nonetheless. Here we go. So this is cage-free, non-GMO, no hormones, organic overtime here. 2 laps to settle it. This is the scheduled distance. If we have a caution before the white flag, then we'll dive into that overtime stuff. Otherwise, if we hit the white flag, Ben's going to tell the drivers good luck, and we'll settle it on the last lap. Logan Helton and Matthew Zwack, who got spun under caution by Cosman, will get us going for the restart. 2 to go from Atlanta. Helton and Brown lead us to 1.
Helton and Brown did a great job on that last restart of not getting split up. And meanwhile, on the outside, Derek Justice with Matthew Zwack, they did a fantastic job as well. Just don't have quite the momentum that inside lane has. And now big block, and it looks like they're going to keep it clean right now, but...
Trouble behind him! Dylan Kem is around. Jordan Worth, Mercurio, Overland again. Kevin McAdams is around. Nick Miller, Michael Frisch. Michael Guest again. And we are going to overtime. And how this started was mid-pack 4 wide. And that just does not work here at Atlanta. AJ Green and Kevin is where this all kicked off, right in the middle of the pack, just outside the top 10. Here's the replay. Going to watch Kevin and AJ Green. They get stacked up 3 wide. Kolnick's makes it 4, and there's just not enough room. They don't know they're 4 wide. And calamity.
And again, it feels like we know what's going to happen when you unleash, 35 or more race cars with a chance to win with 2 laps to go at a super speedway, and it's going to be this every time. And see Jordan Worth, Kevin McAdams all involved, Chris Overland, Nathan Stewart does a great job. Nate Stewart, excuse me. I don't know why I use his government name there, but did a fantastic job of swerving through all of that. We'll get an alternate replay here for you. On board with Scott Ricard, and you see all this madness and
Oh my gosh.
unfold, and
Oh, hold on. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. Oh, man. Now he's good.
that feels like in Cars, the very first race that Lightning McQueen has to swerve through like the entire field wrecking. Is exactly what that feels like.
But Casey Kerwin's not here. Okay. I thought you were going to go 2011 trucks. I don't remember who that on board was with late in the race. Oh, it was one of the Red Horse trucks. Whoever was in the 11.
John King.
No, that was before John King. 2011. It might have been Timothy Peters. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe.
Timothy Peters was always in the 17, to my knowledge.
Right. Well, racing reference to save the day, and if that doesn't answer
A little
my
investigative
question,
journalism once again from Jacob Hitz
Yes,
here as
sir.
we get the choose cone, and it's going to be Helton and Brown on the inside lane. Derek Justice, Matthew Zwack on the outside as the rest of the field gets sorted out. And do we have an answer?
Yeah, I'm stupid. It was the 17, not the 11.
Yeah, all right. That's what I thought. I was thinking like 11, like Ben Kennedy?
11 would have been, I think, the year after,
Yeah.
perhaps. Something along those lines. But yeah, that would have been the 17
and the
of
01's
Timothy
going to get
Peters.
bopped for touching the commitment line.
Well, is he? Or is it because of the crash? Because he was at the start of the crash as well.
We'll get clarification from our rules analyst, Josh Mendoza.
Yeah, it's for the crash. Okay.
All right.
They gave that EOL to him twice, by the way, so he's gonna be back there. I don't know if the first time it was a mistake or what happened, but nonetheless.
That makes it a super EOL.
At Atlanta
All
Super
right.
Duper Speedway.
There you go. All right. Here we go. Helton and Justice on the front row. This is overtime attempt 1 of 3. If we make the white flag, they're racing to the end. If they don't make the white flag before a caution comes out, we'll do this song and dance all over again. Logan Helton, Derek Justice on the front row for the restart. 2 to go, green flag. And a great launch from Helton on the inside. Help from David L. Brown. Remember, older tires for these two, plus Peel and Hawken. Everybody else is on fresher tires. We'll see if there's an advantage.
Getting squirrely way back there. Big push here coming from Kyler Wynn with help from Malik Rain. It looks like they almost go around. Kyler Wynn shoving the nose of that E2 wherever he can fit it. Now he's to the back bumper of Derek Justice. Matthew Zwack with help from Malik Ray now on the outside. 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag, Jacob.
Derek Justice leads at the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Logan Helton down at the bottom. Kyler Wynn pushing Derek Justice out in front. Little squirrely is Justice. Here they come down the back straightaway. We're committed to the checkered flag. Malik Ray in third looking for some help. Bounces off Kyler Wynn. He gave Wynn instructions to back off. Here comes Wynn to the bottom. Justice throws the block. There's contact. Can Justice get any help off turn 4? Kyler Wynn goes to the apron. They're 4 wide. They're 5 wide. I think it's Wyatt Tinsley, and it is. Wyatt Tinsley wins. A horrific crash at the start-finish line. The finish is under review. Wyatt Tinsley goes from 7th off turn 4 to victory lane in Atlanta.
And with how crazy of a race this has been, that's about as crazy of a finish as you will ever see. Wyatt Tinsley, I thought it might have been Malik Ray peeking out there, but as you said, 5 wide across the line, wrecking. And Wyatt Tinsley avoids all of it, absolutely elated. He will come home in victory lane in that 20 machine.
By my count, unofficially here, Wyatt did not get anywhere close to going below the red line. So Wyatt Tinsley wins. Period. End of story. Second on back gets hairy, though, because David L. Brown did dip down underneath. He finished third. Kyler Wynn, we saw what he did. He went down there. There's no may have. He did to go way down there. So this is 2 to go. This is Dylan Kim in 90th place getting crashed. I saw the smoke. Didn't know what happened. So for sure, Wyatt Tinsley officially your winner. Here's the finish to the white flag. And Derek Justice, Caleb, he had a shot at it. The problem was that he didn't get down the racetrack fast enough. Those older tires did not play into his advantage. Rather, he's on fresher tires. But Kyler Wynn backs off here. Malik Ray tells Kyler to back off, get the run, which he does. He drops to the bottom. And a great job by Derek not to clear himself. And then watch the 82. You can't do that. Logan, you can't do that. You cannot go below the line to advance your position, like the plate tracks. So Wyatt Tinsley's okay. Wyatt Tinsley is confirmed to win this race. It's everybody else here. We'll see where they wind up finishing, because you can't do that. Helton can't do that. David L. Brown went down there as well. And then it's pandemonium as Zach's computer blows up. Parker White goes flipping toward the catch fence. And let's see. Let's see. Justice is okay, maybe. Yeah. He dipped 2 down there.
Anyone below Wyatt Tinsley for sure. And Kyler Wynn just almost had it, gets collected in that. And what an incredible job there from Wyatt Tinsley. Looks like Michael P. Frisch is going to slot in there somewhere. Results right now are going to be very unofficial.
Yes. Right now, he is 6th. Your finishing results as of now, very subject to change. Wyatt Tinsley confirmed your leader, locked in, no doubt. Everything after him is a question mark. Right now, Kyler Wynn is 2nd, David L. Brown is 3rd, Malik Ray is 4th, Logan Helton is 5th. Then it's Frisch, Justice, Pio, Kolonix, Kevin King, your pole sitter, finishes. Okay, well, hold on. Kyler Wynn was just disqualified. So forget what you're seeing now. Wynn drops to the back. So David L. Brown is 2nd. Malik Ray is 3rd. Helton 4th. Frisch gets a top 5. Justice Pio, Kolonix, King, Brandon Hawken, your top 10. DQ. He is flat out DQ, disqualified. So Kyler Wynn will not finish where he's not finishing 2nd. He's out. He's done. He's donezo. So that's it for him. And from here, you just kind of bump everybody up 1. So Hawken 10th all the way down. And so far, it's the only move that has been given right now is Kyler Wynn given the DQ, the Dairy Queen.
And we'll wait for further clarification on everything else. Looking on back, saw Brian Mercurio finishes going to be 11th as of right now after starting all the way in the tail end in 45th position earlier today. Looking back on through just some of these names, everybody, Jake Poulin going to be your last car on the lead lap. Michael Cozy Jr., Jonathan Goat, Cosmin Uneshu, Nick Miller, Dylan Kim. All these guys are 1 lap down, and then these are the guys that have DNF'd this race. And 46th on back did not start for clarification.
So Kyler Wynn, the only guy that's going to get a penalty here. So that is that. Wyatt Tinsley, you were 7th coming to the checkered flag off turn 4. How in the world did you win that race?
I'm still figuring it out. I was up front the whole race. I had to pit early. Let me meet them. I had to pit early and decided to go not jeopardize the field. That's why I went down on the backstretch there. I didn't want to jeopardize the field. And then had to pit a little early, right around, and then we got a couple cautions, and then was up there until I wasn't. And then on the last restart there, I thought Kyler and Malik would go with me when I tried to take Zvac 3, but they didn't go with me, and I just kind of kept my foot in it. And then, and then Frisch helped me get through that there, and I didn't see Kyler on the apron there at all, and I literally just went to the middle to get a better position for myself, and all I saw was coming across the track, and I don't know how I won that race. That's crazy. That's probably has me my luckiest win in the world. It's amazing. It's good. It's good racing. But yeah, I'll take it. I mean, uh, yeah, that was good. I don't know how I won that, but I've got to appreciate Frisch for giving me the push in the 3 and 4. I can admit that win was for AJ. I told AJ I would win the race for him because he didn't make the race, and yeah, I guess I won it. That was good.
Second in the points last year here in FTF. Only one win, and it came in the playoffs to lock you into that championship 4. So with the win here, as long as you meet the minimum start requirement, you're locked into the playoffs. Is that going to change? I mean, we're on race 4 of the season, race 5 on the season. Is that going to change how you race the rest of the way until we get to September, or are you just going to be more aggressive now that you already have a win in the bank?
I don't think anything's going to change. Just go week in, week out. Just try to win the race every week. I think I got second last week to Parker, and then this week winning this grid. And we're 1-2 in points here now. I might get points lead this week because he did unfortunately crash. I don't know where he finished. But overall, yeah, it's NFR has been doing a really good job. NFR Team 1 and Team 2 are first and second in points, and first and second in team points as well. I'm sure Derek is up there as well. And yeah, everyone's just doing such an amazing job at NFR. 7th in the Coke race. I know Gary got 6th in the Coke race. Parker got 9th in the Coke race. They all worked so well together, everyone at NFR.
Well, Wyatt, congratulations. What a win here from Atlanta, and we'll see you next week from Texas.
Europe.
That's Wyatt Tinsley. Man, oh man, I still cannot believe that he won that race. We'll talk with David L. Brown because he's the only other guy here with Caleb. He finished second tonight.
Yeah, and David Brown here with the second place finish. And last season, you had a season high of third, and here 5 races through, you're already going to improve on that, and all of that pandemonium that unfolded on the last lap. Talk us through what happened for that 83 machine.
Well, I was just committed to the bottom there. Had a lot of teammates up front: Lawson, Brandon Hawken, Logan. And so I was just committed to pushing Logan and trying to get a Nexus win of some sort. But I haven't been really super comfortable tandem drafting around Atlanta on the new Atlanta package. So I wasn't sure how it was going to play out, but things just kind of worked out right for us at the end there. All of us decided track position was worth more than tires. So we had strength in numbers at the front, and the cautions going on to the end there just kind of further solidified our position.
And then looking forward, coming into tonight, you were 29th in points. Obviously, a P2 going to help that out immensely. What's the strategy going on next week to Texas, where again it's a radically different style from here? Just what's your strategy going Texas and beyond?
I feel like Texas will get spread out. So I think we'll have long green flag runs similar to here in Vegas. So I think the important thing is to keep the tires on the car at Texas, and then it's not been the strongest track for me, but I just need to go out there. And my biggest problem has been towards the end of the race is everything just gets so crazy, and I end up losing all the track position there at the end. So I need to just work on those final 10 laps when everything just goes to hell.
Either way, does a great job of avoiding all the chaos here at Atlanta tonight. That's David Brown. He comes home with a second place finish here tonight. Jacob?
Whew.
It's a well-earned deep breath.
Man, oh man. Yeah, so just a clarification on the rule, by the way. If you put all 4 tires below the red and white line to make a pass, it is not legal. So there is a line rule here. I don't quite think, and maybe that is to deal with Kyler Witt, I'm not sure. Nonetheless, that's a thing. I wasn't dreaming it. I wasn't going crazy. But how about Wyatt Tinsley going from 7th, coming out of turn 4? He sees the checkered flag. He cuts left. The whole field in front of him wrecks, and he doesn't lift, and he moves on.
Yeah, and I mean, just that sixth sense on display there of just being able to avoid all the guys here in front of you, and you're going to see one more look at it, and just incredible from Wyatt Tinsley here as they all wreck 5 wide ahead of him. The C's part for Wyatt Tinsley to come home in victory lane. David Brown in second position here tonight. And again, there's this trend of races going green flag for the first 4/5 of it, and then there's that final fifth being complete pandemonium. I believe we had 10 or 11 cautions, something like that tonight, and we didn't get our first caution until there were, I believe, only 20 laps to go, somewhere in that
Incorrect.
ballpark.
Nope, we had a couple of early ones, but
Well,
You're
I don't
close.
remember them. Long race.
yeah, I know. To be fair, they did happen yesterday. Nonetheless, Wyatt Tinsley is your winner. We only got out of here 45 minutes late compared to what we thought was going to happen. Josh, you've got something quick.
Yeah, I spoke with Justin regarding the Kyler Wynn situation. I don't believe it's about going below the line. I mean, that's obviously an issue, but that should have just been an EOL penalty. I think the issue is looking at the rejoin of the track. I don't think you can say in any way, shape, or form that he intended to come back up onto the track with regard of all 4 drivers or 3 drivers on the outside of him, and therefore cause that wreck in a malicious way. And I do believe that they are looking at further penalties beyond just the disqualification from this race. So I think that there is a race etiquette thing that they just felt was completely violated by Kyler Wynn on that last straightaway there. And there will be a little bit more of a lasting impact beyond just this race, probably.
Justin said that penalties for the driver of the 82 will be announced later in the week. So we'll find out, and I guess we'll let you know next week. From the future home of the largest Walmart parking lot in the United States, Texas Motor Speedway, that's where we're at next week. We've got a couple of duds coming up here, I tell you what, and I don't know I know why they put this schedule together, because it's based off of real life. Whoever at NASCAR put this schedule together, I'm sorry that you don't like the fans. Texas, Richmond, Bristol dirt, all in a row. Then we go to Talladega, Dover, Kansas, Wilkesboro. That's a points-paying race for us. Instead of whatever the heck is supposed to be that weekend. Then we have an off week for the real All-Star race, and then we come back Memorial Day weekend for the All-Star race, which will be held somewhere. Last year it was at the Coliseum. I don't know where it's going to be at this year. Yeah. So Winstell is tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Here on FTF.gg. For Zach Johnson, our producer, for everybody at FTF, for Josh Mendoza pinch hitting tonight, for Caleb Hoffman alongside me, I'm Jacob Pitts. Wyatt Tinsley wins a wild one at Atlanta. We will see you next week.